Chapter 879. So that was how it was. Xia Ping nodded, indicating that he understood. It was likely that this group of people had come to the novice village as guests to visit the exhibition. It was likely that in order to use this identity to come, they had paid a considerable price. But that didn't matter. No matter how they came in, their strength would be suppressed in the novice village. Even a tiger had to lie down, and even a dragon had to coil up. There was no way to break the rules of the novice village. By the way, there's something I need to tell you. Corinne opened his mouth and said, in the base of the ruins, there is actually a spaceship. It can sail in the universe, jump through space, go to one planet after another, and travel in the universe. But because of that battle, it's been damaged quite a bit and can't be activated for the time being. Universe ship. Xia Ping's eyes lit up when he heard this. How does this spaceship compare to the super warships of our cloud realm? You should know that super warships can also jump through space. Stupid. Corinne disdainfully looked at Xia Ping. Can space jump and space jump be the same? Your so-called super warships can jump through space, but they can only jump hundreds of thousands or millions of kilometers. But for real spaceships, the distance they jump is calculated in light years. This difference is like the difference between the stars in the sky and the soil on the ground. First is the spaceship engine. Be it efficiency or propulsion, they are fundamentally different. There are also all kinds of technologies. The difference is unimaginable. It looked at Xia Ping as if he was a country bumpkin. I see. Xia Ping was not discouraged. Instead, he asked excitedly, if that's the case, can you modify the spaceship? Easy. Corinne was very arrogant. As a high-level smart brain, moreover, I used to mix around with a sage. What benefits have I not seen? Transforming a spaceship is really a child's play. In my internal files, there are many super technologies, as well as various types of spaceships blueprints. As long as I have enough materials, engineering robots, and so on, even building a spaceship out of thin air is a very simple matter. It acted as if it was a master of science. But even the cleverest housewife can't cook without rice. In a place like the Sky Realm where even birds don't shit, it's impossible to find enough materials to repair the spaceship. Corinne felt very helpless. Why can't I find it? Actually, the technology of the humans in the Cloud Realm is pretty good as well. Xia Ping expressed his confusion. Stupid. Corinne disdainfully said, can the materials of a spaceship be the same as the materials of an ordinary spaceship? You'll have to face more dangers in space, and they'll be more terrifying. For example, meteorite fragments that can crash over at any time, space storms that erupt from time to time, various terrifying magnetic fields, the supergravity of various stars, and so on. If there aren't any materials that can withstand such pressure, the entire spaceship will be crushed into pieces. The spaceship will be destroyed before we even get out. How can we talk about dominating the universe? Of course, if you become a sage, you'll be able to travel across the universe by yourself. You won't need a spaceship at all. But you don't have that level of cultivation, so you'd better just take the flying ship. Xia Ping blinked his eyes. What materials do you need? The materials needed to repair the spaceship are blazing fire copper, 9 layers stone, tie-by jinxing iron, soft water steel, fierce sun sand and so on. Corinne reported a series of materials needed to repair the spaceship. In addition to these materials, we also need to purchase nanomachines and other engineering machinery. After all, there are many parts of the spacecraft that require these nanomachines to repair. It seems that the universe engine is also damaged, and some materials are needed to repair it. Adding up all these things, plus the cost of opening a wormhole, it's estimated that it'll cost at least $1 billion universe dollars. It said that it wanted to repair the spaceship, which was worth a lot. $1 billion universe dollars. Xia Ping was speechless. For a native living in the Sky Realm, wanting to earn $1 billion universe dollars was simply a fantasy story. It was simply impossible. Not to mention a native like him, even if it was a native living on a planet in the universe, such a number was unimaginable. It was money that could not be earned in a lifetime. It was estimated that even if it was a universe mercenary, who often risked his life and continued to complete missions, it was unknown how many years it would take to earn 1 billion universe dollars. Moreover, these missions were often death missions. Sometimes, before accumulating 1 billion universe dollars, one would directly die in the middle of a mission. This was a very normal thing. Of course, it was not impossible. If he could continue to find a few suckers to deceive, perhaps 1 billion universe dollars could be earned back very quickly. The problem was, where could he find such a place with so many stupid people? Xia Ping touched his chin, thinking about how to earn money. However, for a moment, he had a myriad of ideas and couldn't think of anything. After all, he was still very unfamiliar with the universe and didn't know what kind of place it was. Even if he wanted to find a way to earn money, it would be very difficult to find. Cough, cough. Corinne coughed awkwardly. Of course, I'm not saying that you can earn 1 billion universe dollars right now. I'm just saying that this is a hope, a goal. Chapter 880. What? Seeing Xia Ping suddenly take out a spaceship out of thin air and place it in the quiet room, Corinne's eyes almost popped out as he stared dumbfoundedly at Xia Ping. What's wrong? Xia Ping blinked his eyes and looked at Corinne with a strange expression. How come you have a space treasure? Corinne asked in shock. Xia Ping casually said, I picked it up. It was impossible for him to speak about the super hatred system. This was his biggest secret. Even if he died, he would not speak about it, and there was no need to speak about it. Picked it up. Corinne was speechless. He could casually pick up such a space magic tool. This aboriginal was really lucky. He had never seen such a lucky human in the world. What's wrong? Is there a problem? Xia Ping asked curiously. Corinne looked at Xia Ping with a strange expression and said, Problem? This is a big problem. If you go to the universe, you must not take out a space magic tool. Even in the universe, this is considered a precious treasure. If you want to refine a space magic tool, you must find a space crystal in a secret place in the universe, and then use a special technique to successfully refine it. It is priceless. If some experts in the universe see that you have such a secret treasure on you, they will definitely kill you and rob you. It can be said that in the boundless universe, everywhere is full of killing and chaos. There is no order, just like a primitive society. Even if you are killed, no law can punish you. Xia Ping also understood. After all, the universe was too big, vast, and boundless. If he committed any crime, he could directly drive the spaceship to some remote planet to hide, so who could find his whereabouts? Therefore, many aliens did things without any scruples. There were interstellar pirates and robbers everywhere, and it was very chaotic. If I sell this space ring, wouldn't I be able to earn 1 billion universe dollars in an instant? Xia Ping's heart moved, and he suddenly thought of this matter. Stupid. Corinne disdainfully said, what is 1 billion universe dollars? You can't even buy it with 10 billion. A space magic tool like this, even if you have money, you can't buy it. It can't be measured with universe dollars. But once you sell it, it will be very difficult for you to find such a space magic tool in the future. It didn't agree with Xia Ping selling this spatial magic treasure. It felt that this was too stupid, a bright pearl covered in dust. Forget it. It's not a good idea to sell it. Besides, this spatial treasure can store living things. It's infinitely beneficial. Xia Ping nodded. This spatial magic tool can also hold living things. Corinne was so shocked that his jaw dropped. Xia Ping blinked his eyes. That's right. Can't spatial magic treasures contain living things? This. When Corinne saw Xia Ping's pure eyes, he didn't know how to answer. In the universe, spatial magic tools that could store things were regarded as precious treasures. The value of a spatial magic treasure that could store living things rose by several levels. After all, there were many dangerous mystic realms in the universe. If they used this spatial treasure that could store living creatures, wouldn't they be able to explore these places without any risk and obtain great rewards? Even though Corinne was born in the Myriad Stars sect and was once a sage's brain, he had not seen this kind of spatial magic weapon many times. Its value was unimaginably high. It was speechless. This guy hadn't even left the universe yet, but his net worth was already so high. Once he sold this spatial ring, he would definitely become a tycoon in the universe. He wouldn't have to worry about not having enough money to spend. Forget it. Corinne didn't know how to explain Xiaoping's matter. He cautiously said, "In short, this spatial ring is very precious. Later, don't easily show it to others. Completely hide it and keep a low profile. Of course, after you become a sage, no one will dare to touch you if you casually take it out. A giant holding a big stick is a deterrent. A dwarf holding a big stick will only be ridiculed and despised by others. This is the so-called an innocent man gets into trouble because of his wealth." "Okay, I know." Xia Ping nodded, indicating that he understood. Corinne looked at the spaceship and waved his hand. Immediately, a blue light appeared in the sky above the entire quiet room, constantly scanning the spaceship. It seemed to be examining the data of this spaceship. In just 3 minutes, the examination was completed. Well, for the Aborigines, it's a pretty good spaceship. It belongs to the primary spaceship. It can barely jump to the nearby planets, but it can't carry out long-distance navigation. Corinne nodded, revealing the appearance of a mechanical master, but there are still many unreasonable designs. They are too immature, causing a lot of waste, as well as useless efficiency. If you leave it to me, and I have enough materials, within 3 months, I can upgrade this spaceship to a new level. It can barely be regarded as upgrading it to the limit. Xia Ping asked excitedly, "How much can it be upgraded?" "The regular flight speed can be increased to 50 times the speed of sound." Corinne's eyes revealed a blue light, and rows of data continuously flashed in the depths of his pupils. The efficiency of the spaceship's engine will also be greatly improved. It can jump tens of millions of kilometers in one go, and the energy consumption will also be reduced. At the same time, the spaceship's defense system will also be improved by 10 times, and the attack system will also be greatly optimized. If the performance of this laser cannon is improved, even a fulfillment realm cultivator can be killed with one shot if the other party is not paying attention, and die without an intact corpse. He was expressionless as he analyzed the spaceship's various data. "Can't you kill a divine power realm cultivator?" Xia Ping was a little regretful. If he could kill an invincible king, wouldn't he be able to walk sideways? "Do you think that divine power realm cultivators are cabbages?" "They are cultivators who have condensed martial arts divine power. Once they operate their martial arts divine power, ordinary laser cannons can't kill them." Corinne was speechless. Even at this level, their perception of danger is extremely sharp. If there is any movement, they can instantly avoid the laser cannon attack and can foresee it in advance. If you want to deal with a powerhouse of this level, you will probably need a more powerful weapon, but at present, it seems that you can't find such weapon manufacturing materials on this aboriginal planet for the time being. Xia Ping nodded, expressing his understanding. Although there is no way to deal with a divine power realm cultivator, to be able to upgrade the spaceship to this level, even if you encounter an invincible king, you can still escape. By the way, this is the list of materials to modify the spaceship. If you can find them, you can do it. If you can't find them, then there is no way. Even a clever housewife can't cook without rice. Corinne lightly tapped, and a series of lists immediately popped up in the air. Xia Ping took a closer look, and his face darkened because the materials on the list were too many, and each of them was very precious. Adding them up, they were worth more than 7 trillion federal coins. However, In order to improve the spaceship's power, he could only bite the bullet and agree. It seems that I have to make more money in the future, or else it won't be enough to spend. Chapter 881. At this moment, in the depths of the 88th Ruins base, many staff members were chatting. Strange, a week has passed. Almost all the challengers should have come out by now. Yes, according to past experience, no matter how long it takes, a week is more than enough. Those who don't die will basically come out, and those who don't come out are basically dead. What a cruel ruin. You should know that those are gurus, the elites of mankind. If they didn't court death, they could live a carefree life. Why would they come here to seek death? What warriors who have reached that level pursue is no longer something we can imagine. After experiencing the breadth and profoundness of martial arts, they can no longer stop their desire to pursue the highest realm of martial arts. Indeed, even if they die, they will just die while pursuing the path. It's not a big deal. Martyrs, these are all human martyrs, worthy of respect. Many staff members sighed with emotion. This was also one of the few times they could chat. After all, in this ruins base, there was no one around, and there was nothing to do except carry out research tasks. If they could not even chat, they would probably die of boredom. Ding dong! At this moment, the gate in the depths of the ruins suddenly rang, making a clicking sound. This was a sign that the gate was about to open. Whoosh! 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 The researchers present immediately looked over. None of them had activated the gate of the ruins, but now it had automatically opened, which meant that someone had completed the trial and walked out of the ruins. He's out. Finally, someone has walked out of the trial. Ha, it seems that there is a guru who passed the trial of the ruins and came back alive. Let's see who it is. Maybe he will be the future king. Many researchers could not help but stand up and look at the gate of the ruins, wanting to know which guru had passed the trial so quickly and walked out. Dong! The gate of the ruins opened completely, revealing a deep passage. Then, a figure walked out of it. With a beep, a flash immediately appeared in the monitoring room. After scanning the voice, an electronically synthesized voice sounded, "Welcome back, Guru Xiaoping." No way. It's actually Xiaoping. Is it Xiaoping, who was promoted to the 4th stage of the Supreme Power Realm at the age of 19 and the champion of this year's Genius Battle? He's really amazing. I didn't expect that the first person to pass the trial would be him. A young genius. He will definitely become a king in the future. The group of researchers discussed excitedly as they stared at Xiaoping, who came out from inside. They knew how difficult this relic trial was. Ordinary gurus would die if they went in. Grandmasters who could pass the trial already had a 50 to 60% chance of advancing to the king realm in the future. Mr. Xia. At this time, a researcher immediately went up and asked impatiently, "May I ask if you have obtained any treasures after passing the trial of the relic?" They all knew that once they passed the relic's trial, they would be rewarded with all kinds of treasures. Some of them were machines that surpassed the technology of this era. Some were precious pills. Some were powerful treasured weapons and so on. It could be said that the treasures that appeared in the ancient remnant were definitely the best. Every treasure that appeared in the ancient remnant was enough to drive countless researchers crazy, hoping to get their hands on it to study it. Indeed, I obtained a treasure, the Universal Protective Suit. Xia Ping held a piece of clothing in his hand. This was one of the rewards, the Universal Protective Suit. He also knew that if he passed the trial but did not obtain any treasures, it would be extremely conspicuous, so he did not put the Universal Defense Suit in his spatial ring. Instead, he chose to bring it back with his bare hands. Universal Defense Suit. Oh my god! This is one of the highest rewards in the relic base. I have seen similar clothes before. It was worn by a king. It is said that if you wear this suit, you can soar in the universe and even automatically absorb the energy of the outside world to create oxygen. The technology on this suit is more than 1,000 years ahead of our current Yanhuang planet. I can't even understand it. Surviving in the universe is just one of the characteristics of this suit. The most important thing is its defensive ability. It is said that after a grandmaster wears it, even an ordinary king would find it difficult to kill him. Even a laser gun cannot penetrate the defense of this universal defense suit. Its defensive power is extremely strong. No way. If you get this suit, won't you be invincible? Invincibility is not necessarily the case, but it can indeed greatly increase your survivability. No amount of money can buy it in the outside world. Many researchers were talking excitedly. It was also the first time they had seen such a real object. Their eyes were shining, and they simply wanted to grab this suit immediately and study it. However, this was the reward that Xiaoping got. Without his consent, they could only look at it enviously. What about the others? Ignoring the fanaticism of the researchers around him, Xiaoping calmly asked. Mr. Xia, you are the first to come out. The others haven't come out yet? A researcher replied. But according to the time, they will come out soon. As long as they are still alive. He added a sentence after that. Xiaoping also knew that this relic base was a trial space prepared by Corinne to select the disciples of the myriad star sect. In fact, the degree of danger of such a trial was reduced a lot. But even if it was reduced, there would still be many challengers who would die in the trial. This was also something that couldn't be helped. If you want to get something, you have to pay a high price. If you perform well in the trial and get favored by Corinne, it would be like ascending to the sky in a single bound, flying up the branches and transforming into a phoenix. No fortuitous encounter could compare to this. If many humans in the universe knew about this, even if they knew that their lives were in danger, countless humans would fly over. After all, this was the inheritance of a sage. Who wouldn't covet it? Mr. Xia, I don't know if you need a lounge to rest. A female researcher stepped forward and asked. Xiaoping waved his hand. Forget it. I still have things to do. I will return to the giant island first. Not waiting for the others to come out. Many people were dumbfounded. I'm not waiting. Xiaoping was too lazy to care about the others. Even if he passed the trial, he would only have the qualifications to advance to the Purple Mansion realm. In the universe, he would only be low-level cannon fodder. After knowing these things, his vision had become extremely high. A trifling monarch couldn't restrain him anymore. His goal was even higher, and that was to become a sage. This was a powerhouse that stood at the peak of the universe. 1 hour later, Xiaoping boarded the moon god ship and jumped through space, directly returning to the giant island. Chapter 882. What? Seeing this news, Xiaoping was shocked. He didn't expect to encounter a beast tide as soon as he returned. One had to know that he had only seen the term beast tide in textbooks. Ever since humans obtained the relics technology, martial arts experts emerged one after another. Beast tides became history. Basically, any slightly stronger monsters were either driven into the wilderness or killed. Beast tides that could threaten humans basically didn't exist anymore. But now, the giant island, an important human city, actually encountered a beast tide that was hard to come by in a decade. It was easy to imagine how terrifying it would be once the monster tide erupted. The monsters that blotted out the sky and covered the earth came crashing down. It was unknown whether the giant island's defense system could withstand it or not. If the defense system collapsed, there would only be one outcome for ordinary humans: death. Go there immediately. Xiaoping clenched his fists. If the skin was gone, how could the hair attach itself to it? If the human city was destroyed and all humans were killed, there was no meaning for him to survive alone. Moreover, it was just a beast tide. Humans had encountered it countless times before. The worst time was when they were completely wiped out. But now, they still survived and became even stronger. Thinking of this, he immediately moved and headed for the headquarters of the giant company. This news instantly spread throughout the giant city and was known by countless ordinary humans. It can't be. A beast tide actually broke out. Are those sea monsters crazy? Why are they attacking us? Don't they know how strong the defense of the giant island is? Some people were very shocked. They didn't expect that the sea monsters would actually dare to mobilize a beast tide and attack the giant island. In fact, when the giant island was just built, it had encountered several beast tides. But after they were beaten back a few times, they suffered great losses and didn't dare to come again. Up until now, it had been peaceful for many years. Who would have thought that at this time, the sea monsters would still dare to mobilize a beast tide and attempt to break through the giant island? How can this be? I'm so unlucky. I originally wanted to travel to the giant island, but I encountered such a thing. Once the giant island is broken through, we're dead. There's seawater all around us. How can we escape? It's impossible to escape. If we can't block it, we'll die. There's no other choice. Don't worry. This is an important place of the giant company. The defense system is extremely strong, and there are many troops stationed here. Those sea monsters can't break through. That's right. There are human kings and many grandmasters here. A mere beast tide is nothing. It's up to them. Countless ordinary humans were deeply worried because this was closely related to their lives. Once the giant island was breached, they would definitely become food for those sea monsters. Even if he wanted to escape, it was impossible. He was surrounded by the boundless ocean. This was an isolated island. If he escaped, he would die. He could only fight the sea demons to the death. At this moment, in the headquarters of the giant company, tens of human kings appeared in the meeting room. Their expressions were extremely solemn as they stared at the large screen before them. There were many scenes on it. These images were all secretly recorded by intelligent drones flying thousands of meters in the sky. They could monitor the situation on the front line and predict the enemy from thousands of miles away. Several hundred kilometers away from the giant island, densely packed sea monsters appeared in the sea. There were prawns, fish, crabs, and so on. Every sea demon was extremely ferocious, revealing teeth that looked like saw teeth that could easily bite through steel. Even their bodies were covered in thick gray armor that ordinary firearms could not penetrate. What was even more terrifying was that there were simply too many of these sea demons. There was no way to calculate how many of them had appeared in this place. The entire sea region was pitch black, like a huge black cloud that covered the sky and the sun. It was impossible to imagine what kind of terrifying disaster these sea monsters would cause when they came to the giant island. Dong! At this moment, the screen flashed and a large amount of snowflakes appeared. There seemed to be a special wave being transmitted over. Instantly, an incomparably huge shark appeared in front of the human kings. This was the famous shark demon king of the sea region. And behind the shark demon king, there seemed to be three other demon kings. They were the crab demon king, prawn demon king, and sea snake king. They were all famous sea demon kings. They ruled over an entire race and had billions of subordinates. These demon kings used communication tools to directly contact the human kings. Humans. The shark demon king looked down at the human kings. This is the shark demon king's, ultimatum. Do you want war or peace? Do you want to struggle at death's door? Choose for yourself. His gaze contained ferocity, cruelty, and tyranny. He did not place any humans in his eyes. There's no need to choose. King Zhaozhong sneered and said, "We will never agree to your conditions. Once we agree, we will become traitors. Do you think you can force our giant island to submit with just this army of sea demons? Dream on." He flatly refused. Humans, you are going too far. I only want you to hand over the culprit who killed the shark demon grandmaster, Xia Ping, and tear him to pieces. This is just a small matter. How dare you not agree? The shark demon monarch flew into a rage. Now, you have seen the consequences of infuriating me. Once the soldiers arrive at the city gates, I will not rest until blood flows like a river. Heads roll on the ground. Once the island is breached, be it man or woman, old or young, they will all be killed by me. Not a single chicken or dog will be spared. Can you bear the consequences of this? Is it worth it for you to face such consequences for a puny ordinary human? He stated his goal. It was to kill Xia Ping. Previously, the matter of Myriad Treasures Island had been exposed. The shark demon race, crab demon race, and jellyfish race's grandmasters, as well as many elites, had died on Myriad Treasures Island. This matter enraged the shark demon king and the other monster kings. They felt that a puny human dared to kill their grandmasters. This was a heinous crime. They had to capture him and execute him. Hence, they decided to negotiate with the humans. They wanted the giant island to hand over Xia Ping and execute him immediately. However, the giant corporation naturally would not agree. They rejected them on the spot. In the end, this enraged the shark demon king. He decided to ally with the other 3 sea demon kings to attack the human cities. They wanted to kill the audacious human and teach the humans a painful lesson. Ordinary human. King Zhaozhong laughed. If he was an ordinary human, why would you make such a big fuss? Do you even believe your own words? In reality, this was the truth. If he was an ordinary human, the shark demon king would not be so angry. He would not have killed so many Grandmaster level sea demons. Chapter 883. I don't care if he's an ordinary human or not. This king only knows one thing. He killed our shark demon race's grandmaster, causing our race to suffer heavy losses. This is the murderer. The shark demon king was filled with killing intent. No one can avoid paying the price for killing a member of our shark demon race. Any human must die. This is an affront to the dignity of a king. If you want to protect him, be prepared to perish together. He roared, not concealing his killing intent at all. He wanted to fight to the death with the humans. Perish together. You think too highly of your own abilities. In the future, you want to destroy my giant island with just a few armies of sea monsters? You're overestimating yourself. King Zhaozhong sneered again and again. Moreover, Xia Ping isn't the murderer. The real murderer is that group of Myriad Monster Mountain's monster kings. They were the ones who killed your shark monster clan's grandmaster. If you want revenge, why don't you go look for Myriad Monster Mountain? Could it be that you're afraid of the Myriad Demon Mountain because you bully the weak? He pushed the blame onto the Myriad Demon Mountain while mocking them. Shut up! The Shark Demon King shouted angrily. If this king says he's the murderer, then he's the murderer. It's not up to you to argue. If you continue to protect him today, the humans of the giant island will be buried with him. Do as you see fit. He issued an ultimatum. He was very rude and unreasonable, not listening to Zhaozhong at all. If you want to fight, let's fight. Who's afraid of who? Zhaozhong laughed coldly. Their giant island wasn't made of mud. 1,000 years had passed since the Great Calamity era. This was an extremely long time. They had experienced the despair of having their home destroyed and their country destroyed. They had experienced the feeling of trembling under the hands of tyrannical monsters. They had also experienced the darkness of time. What hadn't they seen before? They had experienced the most painful, despairing, and dark things. Did they think that a mere threat of a beast tide attacking a city could force them to lower their heads and become slaves? What a joke! This was no longer the era where humans bowed to demonic beasts. These sea monsters were used to being arrogant in the boundless sea. They had dominated the boundless sea for who knew how many years, thinking that they were number one and invincible. They could massacre a city and destroy a country if they wanted to. To think that he wanted to force the humans to lower their heads and hand over a human genius. Who did he think he was? Many human monarchs sneered and looked disdainfully at the shark demon monarch. Moreover, Xia Ping had the qualifications for them to protect him with all their strength. This was an unrivaled king-level seedling, and his future was boundless. Once he advanced into the unrivaled king tier, or even a higher tier, what would these trifling sea demon kings amount to? In the future, they would just be ants, and he could kill them with a wave of his hand. Fine, since you all want to die, then this king will fulfill your wish. Immediately send out troops to attack the city, trample over Giant Island, and exterminate all humans and beasts. The shark demon king flew into a rage. He didn't expect these human kings to be so arrogant. They didn't even put him in their eyes. Since that was the case, he would use blood to teach these human kings what the wrath of a monster king was. No one would know how powerful the shark demon monarch was if he did not kill until heads rolled on the ground, emptying Giant Island. With a snap, the video call was immediately cut off. The shark demon monarch and the other demon monarchs' virtual projections vanished in front of the many human monarchs. Activate the first level state of war. Conscript the entire population. Mobilize the Grand Masters and the army. Defend with all your might. King Zhaozhong gave the order. He didn't say any encouraging words. All he said was a cold and emotionless order. It was as if he had become a killing machine. Yes. Many human monarchs didn't have any doubts. Some of them were hundreds of years old, and some were over 1,000 years old. They had experienced countless demonic beast attacks, and they had experienced many wars between humans and demonic beasts. They were already used to it. They didn't need to do anything to them. They could mobilize the army themselves to contend against the sea demon monarchs. Immediately, the war machine of the entire giant island was activated. At this moment, in a dazzling palace at the bottom of the sea, the shark demon monarch, the crab demon monarch, the prawn demon monarch, and the sea snake monarch were gathered together. Bang! The shark demon monarch grabbed the golden eagle white jade cup on the table and ruthlessly smashed it into pieces. He cursed, "Damned humans. They are too arrogant. They actually dare to reject this king's request. They don't know how to appreciate favors. They are courting death. They are courting death." He was infuriated. He originally thought that with his army, he could use his name as the Shark Demon Monarch to intimidate the humans. He thought that the humans would obediently hand over the culprit, Xia Ping, and subdue them without a fight. He didn't expect that not only would his request not be taken seriously by the human monarchs, but it would also be ridiculed. He was so angry that his lungs almost exploded. "Shark Demon Monarch, please calm down. The humans have been growing stronger recently, and their arrogance has started to grow. Naturally, they don't care about you, Shark Demon Monarch. Now is a good opportunity to tell the humans who the king of the sea is, and who the real decision-maker is." After experiencing this battle, I reckon they will truly understand how terrifying the title of King of the Sea is. A voice suddenly sounded from the side. It wasn't the Shark Demon Monarch, the Crab Demon Monarch, the Prawn Demon Monarch, or one of the Sea Snake Monarchs. Other than them, there was another Demon Monarch. He was the Shadow Demon Monarch from the Myriad Demon Mountain. Shadow Demon Monarch. The Shark Demon Monarch stared at him. "Your Myriad Demon Mountain wants to use me as a tool. I know that. However, don't you dare fool me. Otherwise, I will definitely make your Myriad Demon Mountain pay a heavy price. Shark Demon Monarch, no matter how unpleasant your words are, we demon monarchs have come to a consensus to deal with the humans and curb their growth." The Shadow Demon Monarch smiled faintly. "If the humans continue to grow like this, and another invincible monarch appears, won't the entire Cloud Realm have to listen to the humans in the future? Will there still be space for us demon monarchs to survive in the future?" The humans are the enemies of many demon monarchs in the cloud realm. This shouldn't be discussed. He pointed out that the real enemy now was the humans and not the myriad demon mountain. Humph. The shark demon monarch sneered. Easy for you to say. The humans are powerful now, and they have many monarchs. This battle won't be that simple. Although he was arrogant, he wasn't stupid. He naturally knew how great the battle potential of the humans was. Don't worry, Shark Demon Monarch. Once the battle starts, my myriad demon mountain will naturally send demon monarchs to restrain those human monarchs, the Shadow Demon Monarch said. When the time comes, the human monarchs will be restrained and won't be able to make a move. With the Shark Demon Monarch's elite subordinates, wouldn't it be easy to deal with those human grandmasters? The Shark Demon Monarch and the other demon monarchs nodded. As long as they could fight to a draw with the human monarchs, with their large number of elite subordinates, it would be easy to flatten the giant island. Chapter 884. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this time, tens of thousands of grandmasters had gathered in a plaza at the headquarters of the giant company. Not only were there grandmasters from the giant company, but there were also many grandmasters from other forces. All the grandmasters living on the giant island, regardless of what they were doing, had all rushed over. Xia Ping was the same. He had arrived at the huge plaza. At this time, the entire plaza was filled with people. Brother Li, I didn't expect you to come as well. Brother Huang, it's the responsibility of a grandmaster to kill the demon beasts. How can I not come? During times of war, disobeying orders from the army is a serious crime. I had to come. Of course, even if there were no such laws, I would still come. After all, my family is on the giant island. I can't back down. Those demon beasts must have eaten a bear's heart and a leopard's gall. They actually dared to invade our human city. They are courting death. Kill as many as you come. Leave none alive. Many grandmasters were filled with killing intent. None of them were afraid. On the high platform, many military officers appeared. The commander of the giant island's army, Li Yuantian, stood up and went straight to the point. Thank you, grandmasters, for coming. I won't say much. Right now, the sea demon army is filled with killing intent. Countless monsters are attacking us. We are in danger. We will live and die with the giant island. As long as the island lives, we live. If the island is destroyed, we die. Your mission is very simple. That is to kill the Grandmaster level sea demons and clear the obstacles for our human army. Don't worry about the small monsters. Just leave them to our troops. Xia Ping's eyes flashed. He knew that this was the role of a grandmaster. Although humans had many high-tech weapons, such as laser cannons, laser guns, and all kinds of battleships, it was too difficult for ordinary weapons to deal with a grandmaster. Once a grandmaster circulated the earth energy in their body and formed an energy shield, they would be unscathed even if a missile hit them. Laser cannons and other high-tech weapons were more destructive than missiles. However, Grandmaster-level demons had terrifying reactions. They could instantly escape the lock of the laser cannons. After all, no matter how powerful the laser cannons were, they still needed people to lock onto them and control them. This would cause the Grandmaster to pause for a moment and dodge in advance. Therefore, in order to kill a Grandmaster-level monster, only a Grandmaster-level human being would be the most efficient way. Alright, I won't waste any more time. Masters, please board the battleship. We're leaving immediately. Commander Li Yuantian acted swiftly and decisively, immediately issuing orders for the masters to gather. Therefore, the Grand Masters in the square were divided into dozens of teams and boarded different warships. Xia Ping boarded Warship 18 and waited for the next order. Whoosh! The warship rose into the sky and immediately flew away from the giant island. At this moment, the giant island's combat system was activated. The entire island was enveloped by a transparent barrier of light. Although this energy barrier looked very thin, it was actually very powerful. However, even a demon king would find it very difficult to break through this light barrier. Without expending a great deal of effort, there was no way to do so. Even if the demon army attacked, it would take a long time to destroy it. Battleships also appeared in the sky. Tens of thousands of battleships moved out at the same time, covering the sky and covering the sun. The war machines operated crazily. Battleships and aircraft carriers also appeared on the surface of the sea. They were in charge of cleaning up the monsters on the surface of the sea. At this moment, the monsters that were originally hundreds of kilometers away quickly arrived within 2 to 3 kilometers of the giant island. They were like locusts, frantically pouncing over. There are too many of these sea monsters. Countless grandmasters saw the scene on the surface of the sea from the battleships in the sky. All of them took a deep breath, their hearts rising from the soles of their feet to the top of their heads. This was because, within a radius of more than 10 kilometers, there were densely packed sea monsters. Moreover, there were many types of sea monsters. There were many that even the experts couldn't identify. However, the most terrifying sea monster was the man-eating shark. They bared their sharp and ferocious fangs and were indestructible. Even reinforced concrete was like chocolate to them. With a gentle bite, it would be bitten into scrap metal. In the past, when humans sailed on the sea, they were most afraid of encountering man-eating sharks. They would often form groups and attack from the bottom of the sea. In an instant, they would rush out and penetrate the bottom of the human ships, creating a huge hole. Seawater would pour into the ships, causing the human ships to sink. Kill! The commander of the army, Li Yuantian, gave the order with a murderous look. Regardless of whether it was the battleships flying in the sky or the battleships on the sea, all of them operated the laser cannons on the ships at the same time and bombarded the sea monsters. Swish! 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 Immediately, the entire sea was covered with a deadly laser net. No sea monster could withstand it. In an instant, tens of thousands of man-eating sharks were torn apart. Their entire bodies exploded, drenched in blood. Then, they covered the sea. In the face of such a divine weapon of war, the man-eating sharks that were charging forward were simply targets. Again. Li Yuantian shouted angrily. He wanted to shoot a few more times in a row and exterminate all these sea monsters. Rumble. However, at this moment, terrifying sea monsters instantly appeared from the depths of the sea. Some of them were pitch-black shark demons that seemed to have grown a purple horn on their heads. Their bodies were huge, with a length of more than 100 meters. They were practically equivalent to a spaceship and emitted an extremely strong pressure. They rushed out of the sea in a ferocious and cruel manner. In an instant, they pounced on a battleship on the sea, opened their ferocious fangs, and with a bang, the battleship was instantly bitten into two. The humans on the battleship immediately died tragically. All of them became food in the shark's stomach and were bitten into a ball of meat paste. At the same time, dozens of laser cannons bombarded its body. However, they were all blocked by the condensed black gang chi layer on its body. It only let out a muffled groan and was blasted hundreds of meters away. In the end, it left unscathed. There was a red crab demon that was more than 10 meters tall and emitted a faint red glow. Its speed exceeded several times the speed of sound, and it drew a shocking huge wave on the sea. Even the laser system could not capture such a speed. By the time this scorpion demon was seen, it had already reached the vicinity of a battleship. With a bang, it opened its huge pincers and gently slashed in midair. Immediately, a solid Ganjin chi was formed. With a crash, the battleship was cut into more than a dozen pieces. It was as easy as cutting tofu. There was even a sea snake with a body of 200 to 300 meters. It was extremely terrifying. With a swipe of its huge tail, it rolled up a monstrous wave that was dozens of meters high and slammed toward the ships. This was simply like a giant slapping a toy, producing a terrifying force of thousands of tons. Bang! 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 In a breath's time, 2 or 3 battleships were immediately slapped into a pile of scrap iron, and a large number of human soldiers died tragically. Chapter 885. Damn it, a master-level sea monster has appeared. How can a master-level monster appear so quickly? Normally, shouldn't they send some cannon fodder to deplete the energy of our warships? Why are they so impatient? It's probably the Shark Demon King's order to destroy our giant island as soon as possible. Hence, they don't have time to probe us. They've sent their elite warships to suppress us directly. Damn it, immediately send out the master level to destroy this group of sea monsters. We can't let them continue to act so recklessly. Many of the higher-ups of the human army gritted their teeth. They had been careless and didn't expect these master-level monsters to appear so quickly. With a single attack, they had lost more than 10 warships. It was a heavy loss. It had to be said that these master-level monsters were too terrifying. Be it in terms of physical fitness, strength, speed, or physical defense, they were much stronger than humans. They were blessed by the heavens. Disregarding everything else, just their bodies alone were enough to make countless ordinary humans despair. Their bodies were impenetrable, no matter what kind of weapon was used. If such a monster appeared in ancient times, it would be a natural disaster. No matter how many human lives were sacrificed, it would be difficult to kill such a sea monster. Fortunately, humans now had master-level monsters who could fight against such a level of monster. All master-level monsters, attack now. Kill all these sea monsters. Don't leave a single one alive. Commander Li Yuantian's order was passed to every master-level monster. His tone was very solemn. Dong! The doors of the warships opened, and many master-level monsters jumped down from the warships. Like cannonballs, they rushed to the surface of the sea. To master-level monsters, the so-called seawater was no obstacle at all. They covered their feet with earth energy and stepped on the seawater as if it was flat ground. Human master-level monsters. Ha, foolish humans. They actually sent these precious combat power here to die. Let's fulfill their wish. Once we destroy these human master-level monsters, the humans on this island will be fish on the chopping board. They will be at our mercy. Hee, I haven't tasted human master-level monsters in a long time. It's a supreme delicacy. As long as I devour the bodies of a few human master-level monsters, I will definitely evolve greatly. Even if I become a demon king, there's still a chance of death. These human master-level monsters must die. Go! Kill these stupid humans. Many master-level sea demons also noticed the human masters falling from the sky. Their eyes shone with a cruel light as they pounced on the group of human masters. At this moment, Xia Ping was wearing the universe defense suit and descended from the sky, landing in the middle of the battlefield. His appearance immediately attracted the attention of a Grandmaster monster, who immediately shouted, "Isn't this kid Xia Ping a human? The human that the king specifically said to kill, he actually appeared?" These words attracted the attention of many Grandmaster monsters. All of them knew that the main culprit behind the rage of so many demon kings and their desire to destroy the giant island was this human, Xia Ping. It was because of this human that the killing intent of so many demon kings was aroused, and they wanted to get rid of him as soon as possible. It really is the human Xia Ping. I have seen his image before. I can recognize him even if he turns into ashes. It was this brat who killed many of our sea demon grandmasters on the Myriad Treasures Island. His crime is punishable by death. The king has already said that whoever can kill the human Xia Ping will be heavily rewarded. Let's go together and kill this human Xia Ping. This is a huge treasure. As for the other grandmasters, don't bother with them. Instantly, countless grandmaster-level monsters became excited. They were like sharks that had come into contact with fresh blood. One by one, they pounced on Xiaoping in a frenzy. They were fierce and cruel, forming groups. It can't be. Grandmaster Xiaoping also appeared here. Isn't that the champion of the genius competition, the peerless demon that appears once in 100 years? Absolutely not. We can't let these grandmaster monsters have their way. Otherwise, our human race will lose a great general. Damn those grandmaster monsters. They actually want to kill the geniuses of our human race. How can I let these beasts succeed? Go over immediately and cover Xiaoping. On the battlefield, many human grandmasters also noticed this situation, and they all moved closer to Xiaoping. In an instant, with Xiaoping as the center, a huge battle circle was formed. It could be said that he was the center of the battlefield. Huh? Xiaoping was speechless. He didn't expect that he had become a superstar. As soon as he appeared, countless Grandmaster Sea monsters came to kill him. It was as if they didn't care about their lives. Even if they didn't care about the situation of the battle, they still wanted to kill him. Originally, he just wanted to kill the Grandmaster monsters in peace and gain merit. He didn't expect that his wish would not come true. What's going on? Why is Xiaoping in this place? Didn't they say that he was still training in the number 88 ruins? Why is he out so soon? The commander of the army, Li Yuantian, was suddenly anxious. He didn't expect that Xiaoping, a key figure in this war, would appear in the center of the extremely dangerous war and cause a huge commotion. If Xiaoping was killed by the Grandmaster monsters now, then everything they had done would be meaningless. The problem was, no matter how anxious he was, it was useless. Now that Xiaoping had appeared on the battlefield, even if he wanted Xiaoping to come back, there was no way he could do it in a short time. More than 2 hours ago, Xiaoping passed the trial of the number 88 ruins. He was the first to pass, and he came back on the spaceship, just in time for this war. A secretary said in a deep voice, "But because the war is coming and the monsters are attacking the city, the situation is too urgent, so we didn't report this matter to the commander and temporarily suppressed it." In the tense moment when countless sea beasts were about to attack the city, a grandmaster passing the ruins trial was a trivial matter. Naturally, the secretary didn't mention this matter to prevent it from affecting the commander. He's indeed a genius to be the first to pass the ruins trial. It's no wonder those sea demons are trying so hard to kill him. Li Yuantian sighed. Such a genius must not die in the hands of the sea demons. We must do our best to protect him. He ordered the grandmasters to protect Xiaoping. They couldn't let such a genius die prematurely. At that moment, Shark Demon King, Crab Demon King, Prawn Demon King, Sea Snake King, and the other Demon Kings also received the news. Ha! The heavens are on my side. The heavens are really on my side. This puny human actually dared to send himself to his death on the battlefield. How can the word stupid describe him? Shark Demon King laughed out loud, overjoyed. Since this human is stupid, let's send him to his death prematurely, said Crab Demon King with a sinister smile. The other Demon Kings were also brimming with killing intent. They were all determined to kill Xiaoping. Issue the order. Whoever kills Xiaoping, regardless of their status, will immediately be promoted by 3 ranks. They will be rewarded with 3,000-year-old spirit herbs. They will also become the overlord of the 1,500-kilometer sea region. Chapter 886. The Shark Demon King's order excited countless Grandmaster monsters. All of them seemed to be on steroids. They roared and charged at Xiaoping with all their might. Go to hell, human Xiaoping! A Grandmaster Shark Demon roared. Its black eyes were filled with murderous intent. Its huge body leaped out of the water, reaching 8 times the speed of sound. It opened its bloody mouth, revealing hundreds of ferocious fangs. Each of them was extremely sharp, like a peerless divine weapon that could tear apart any steel. Previously, a battleship had been bitten in two by this shark demon, displaying its terrifying destructive power. This was a terrifying sea demon that could slaughter an entire city. Human Xia Ping's head is mine. No one can take it from me. A sea snake demon said in a low voice, shaking the world. Its 300-meter-long body swooped over like an ancient flood dragon. Its body was covered with silver scales, which emitted a cold light under the sun. Its body was also filled with a terrifying cold air, as if it had frozen the sea. This Grandmaster Sea Snake Demon was not willing to be left behind. After all, there was only one Xia Ping. Whoever killed Xia Ping first would get the reward. Of course, it would not give it to other Grandmaster monsters. Although this sea snake demon was huge, its agility was no less than that of a monkey. Its body turned into a long bow, and with a slight bend, it produced a terrifying jumping force. In an instant, it swooped over, wanting to strangle Xia Ping. Get out of here. Whoever dares to stop me, Crab Brother 9, will die. A Grandmaster Crab Demon was extremely terrifying. It was tyrannical and extremely arrogant. It walked on the sea horizontally, and its speed exceeded 8 times the speed of sound, surpassing countless Grandmasters. Its pair of giant pincers were extremely terrifying. They were pitch black, like the Grim Reaper's scythe. With these giant pincers, it had harvested countless lives. It would not be an exaggeration to say that blood flowed like a river. With a bang, it leaped into the air and fell like a meteor, bringing with it a terrifying airflow. It wanted to cut off Xia Ping's head in an instant. Oh no! Many of the human Grandmasters planned on rescuing Xia Ping, but the 3 Grandmaster demons were just too fast and violent. Furthermore, they were several kilometers away from Xia Ping. Even if they wanted to rescue Xia Ping, it was impossible for them to do so given their speed and distance. They could only watch Xia Ping being killed by the 3 Grandmaster monsters and die without a whole body. It's over. It's all over now. On the warship, Li Yuantian and the other high-ranking generals were burning with anxiety. They wished they could immediately reach Xia Ping's side and kill all the Grandmaster demons. However, there was nothing he could do now. He could only watch helplessly. Foolish humans, you actually dare to enter the battlefield. You don't even know how to write the word death. A genius rarely seen in 1,000 years. I'll turn you into a corpse today. Go to hell. Anyone who dares to threaten our sea demon tribe shall die. Go to hell and repent. This is the fate of anyone who dares to touch a Grandmaster of my shark demon clan. In the distance, many Grandmaster sea demons were gloating. It was as if they could see Xia Ping being torn to pieces by the 3 Grandmaster sea demons. It was a pity that this human genius who had the potential to become a king had fallen just like that. Their hearts were filled with endless pride, as if they had just killed a king. Rumble in the blink of an eye, the attacks of the 3 Grandmaster-level sea demons arrived in the blink of an eye and landed on Xia Ping's body fiercely. An earth-shattering sound erupted. It was as if hundreds of tons of bombs had exploded, causing the air to explode. With Xia Ping as the center, a substantial force was produced, sweeping out in all directions, setting off huge waves. It was unknown how many little demons were killed, causing a large amount of blood to gush out. However, this group of Grandmaster sea demons did not care. There were too many little demons in the endless sea. They were no different from cannon fodder. After they died, they could quickly grow again. They were nothing. Ha, this is a human genius. So pitiful. He couldn't even withstand a single blow. He was killed in one move. I heard that this human genius was very arrogant, stirring up trouble everywhere. He made the 1,000-demon mountain full of chicken feathers and duck blood. Now, it seems that he's just as so. He was killed in one move by us, the sea demons. There's nothing we can do about it. How can the 1,000-demon mountain be compared to us, the sea demons of the endless sea? The two sides are not on the same level. Indeed. From this, we can see that the Thousand Demon Mountain is just so. It's already desolate. It's no longer the overlord that once dominated the cloud world. It can only live in a corner, struggling at death's door. Wait, something's wrong. Why don't the three Grandmaster Sea Demons look happy at all? Instead, they look so serious. Damn, that kid is not dead. He's still alive and kicking. It can't be. What happened? Many Grandmaster Sea Demons were still feeling proud of themselves. They wanted to see the scene of Xiaoping dying. However, when the smoke and dust dispersed, they were shocked to find that Xiaoping was not dead. He was still standing on the sea with his hands behind his back. From Xiaoping's body, a thin layer of energy shield that was almost invisible to the naked eye was emitted. It was this energy shield that blocked the attacks of the three Grandmaster Sea Demons. No matter how fierce they were, they could not break through the layer of energy shield. It was as if it was an absolute domain. How is this possible? The three Grandmaster Sea Demons were dumbfounded. They could not help but feel shocked. They were so confident that any Grandmaster would die with their attacks. There was no way they could survive. However, what was going on? This human was standing still and letting them attack him. Yet, they could not break through this human's defense. This was too exaggerated. However, they did not know that Xiaoping was wearing a universal protective suit. This was a powerful defensive equipment that could resist the attacks of ordinary kings. What could a mere Grandmaster attack do? When these Grandmaster Sea Demons attacked, the universal protective suit immediately came into play and continuously weakened the power. When it reached Xiaoping's body, it was basically gone. In other words, how could this hurt Xiaoping? Are you done? Now it's my turn. Xiaoping looked at the three Grandmaster Sea Demons calmly. His calm pupils revealed a terrifying pressure. It was as if a primordial fierce beast had awakened from a deep sleep. Oh no, run! The three Grandmaster Sea Demons suddenly showed a trace of fear. As if they were facing a great enemy, their hair stood on end. They made a prompt decision and turned to escape. However, it was too late. Xiaoping stood on the sea. His clothes fluttered even though there was no wind. Circles of waves appeared on the sea where his feet stood, spreading in all directions. He suddenly threw a punch. With a shake, it exploded. Dong! Chapter 887. Not good. The first to bear the brunt of the attack was the Shark Demon Grandmaster. It was the most arrogant and dared to be the first to approach Xiaoping. It wanted to swallow him whole and treat him as food. Unfortunately, when its ferocious mouth bit down on the universal protective suit, its fangs, which could bite through steel, were shattered in an instant. Its mouth was full of blood. Now that it had no time to hide, it took Xiaoping's punch head-on. The power of this punch simply exceeded its imagination. It clearly wasn't very strong, but the destructive power of the spiral was too terrifying. Even though it had scales to protect its body, it was of no use. Bang! In the next second, its 100-meter-long body exploded like a watermelon. A large amount of flesh and blood flew in all directions, dyeing the sea red. The poor Shark Demon Grandmaster was a terrifying existence that could bite through a warship. It was a ferocious beast of the sea that made people tremble in fear. However, it was unlucky to encounter Xiaoping and be killed with a single punch. It's over. Seeing the Shark Demon Grandmaster die, the 100-meter-long sea snake demon was scared out of its wits. Its huge body did not give it any sense of security. It was clearly just a human. Compared to it, it was simply the difference between a giant and an ant. Under normal circumstances, it should be the one crushing the other party. But now, it clearly felt that it was the ant, and the other party was the ancient giant. With a slap, it could crush a long snake like a bug. Dong! This punch smashed onto the sea snake demon's head. Immediately, its head, which was as hard as stone, was penetrated and exploded on the spot. Even as the spiral fist force passed through inch by inch, its 100-meter-long body produced a series of terrifying explosions. It exploded inch by inch, and its huge body was broken into dozens of pieces on the spot. Large chunks of flesh and blood fell on the sea, constantly splashing large amounts of water. The sea snake that dominated the sea was also killed on the spot. No. The crab demon grandmaster, who was originally tyrannical and thought that he was the best in the world, was also trembling in fear. It gritted its teeth and fled with all its might. On the surface of the sea, a long white chain appeared in an instant. It frantically fled into the distance, using its maximum speed that it would never be able to reach again in its life. The surrounding seawater was cut open, forming a passage for the crab demon to escape. However, it was useless. No matter how fast it was, how could it compare to the speed of the fist force? The sound had just been transmitted when the fist force smashed over. Even a Grandmaster-level monster wouldn't be able to react in time. Boom! One punch, just one punch, landed on the Grandmaster crab monster's body. Its body was like a balloon, instantly exploding into pieces. Its pincers, legs, and shell were all blasted into pieces. The spiral force continued to grind its organs into paste. You must be joking. The human grandmasters who were rushing over were all dumbfounded when they saw this scene. All of them stopped in their tracks as if they could not believe their eyes. The three Grandmaster-level monsters were the crab, the shark, and the sea snake. Each one was more terrifying and ferocious than the last. Any human Grandmaster would not dare to say that they would be able to defeat them. Not to mention that the three Grandmaster-level monsters had joined forces at the same time. Generally speaking, it would be a fatal situation. But now, not only was the kid unscathed, but he even attacked. With one punch, the three Grandmaster-level monsters exploded. They couldn't escape even if they wanted to. How could this be? They're all dead. The three Grandmaster-level monsters are all dead. You must be joking. What on earth happened? Why is the kid unscathed after being attacked by the three Grandmaster-level monsters? Many of the Grandmaster-level monsters were also dumbfounded. They couldn't understand what had happened at all. Some monsters even thought that it might be an illusion. Otherwise, how could such a ridiculous thing happen? Universal protective suit. This kid is wearing a universal protective suit. No wonder the three Grandmaster-level monsters can't do anything to him. On the warship, the eyes of Li Yuantian and other senior generals immediately lit up. They were considered people of high status and authority. Naturally, they had seen many treasures. Among them was the universal protective suit. This was a treasure that countless Grandmaster-level monsters coveted. However, such a treasure was priceless. It couldn't be found on the market. One couldn't buy it even if one had the money. That's right. This kid passed the trial of the 88th ruin. Naturally, he received some treasures as a reward. This universal protective suit is probably one of the rewards. Li Yuantian chuckled. Looks like those Grandmaster-level monsters are unlucky. With the universal protective suit, even ordinary kings would find it difficult to kill this kid. I reckon that even if those monsters used all their strength, they wouldn't be able to break through the defense. He felt refreshed. He had originally thought that Xia Ping would be sending himself to his death if he went to the battlefield. He didn't expect that Xia Ping would be wearing such a treasure. He could practically do whatever he wanted on the battlefield. Even if a group of Grandmaster-level monsters ganged up on him, they wouldn't suffer much damage. With this set of treasured clothes, this kid would be in an invincible position. Many human kings saw this scene as well, including Zhao Zhong. However, they already knew about this, so they weren't worried about Xia Ping's safety. After all, this was a secret of the giant company. Ordinary people didn't have the right to know, so they wouldn't casually reveal it. At this moment, Xia Ping was standing on the surface of the sea, killing 3 Grandmaster-level monsters with a single punch. He was like an invincible god of war. Who else? Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back, looking at the Grandmaster-level monsters with disdain. Which other monsters dare to come forward to die? Hurry up and come. I want to fight 10 of you at once. He indicated that what happened earlier was just an appetizer. Now was the time to get serious. Arrogant. This human is too arrogant. He wants to fight 10 of us at once. Who does he think he is? Everyone, let's attack him together and beat him into a pile of shit. Let's see if he still dares to be so arrogant. The Grandmaster-level monsters were already furious when Xia Ping killed 3 of their companions. Now, this bastard actually dared to provoke them directly, saying that he wanted to fight 10 of them at once. If they didn't completely destroy this human, they wouldn't have any face left. Even the hatred from the death of their 3 companions ignited a terrifying flame in their hearts. They wished they could immediately capture Xia Ping and tear him into pieces. Die. Remember, the one who killed you is called Shark 13. With a boom, a tyrannical shark demon jumped out from the group of Grandmaster-level monsters. Chapter 888. Xia Ping did not even look at it. He raised his hand and sent out a palm strike. He circulated the astral energy in his body and covered his palm, instantly blocking in front of his body. Dong! The halberd and the palm collided, and dazzling sparks immediately burst out. The shockwave caused a large hole to appear in the seawater under their feet. How is this possible? Shark 13 was shocked. He felt the terrifying power from this palm strike. There was a tyrannical rebounding force that sent him flying several hundred meters away, sliding across the surface of the sea. Even his hands that were holding the halberd were numb, and all the bones in his body were trembling. He simply did not dare to believe it. One had to know that his shark demon race was famous for their strength. Although they were not necessarily the strongest in the world, they were not something weak humans could compare to. If it was a competition of strength, his shark demon race could beat 10 humans. But what happened now? In a competition of pure strength, he was actually at a disadvantage. If he had not personally experienced it, he would not have thought that a puny human would have strength that surpassed the shark demon race. It was too unbelievable. Shark 13. Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. This name is quite unique. I killed a pirate before, and his name was Shark 17. What is his relationship with you? He felt that this name was very familiar. What? My younger brother, Shark 17, was killed by you? Shark 13's eyes were wide open. No wonder I could not contact him. I even ran to his nest and found that there was nothing left. There were only ruins everywhere. So it was you who killed my younger brother. He roared, wishing that he could bite Xia Ping to death. This was the hatred of killing his younger brother. It was absolutely irreconcilable. You are already a pirate and live a life of blood. Isn't it normal to die? You have to pay for what you have done. Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back. Moreover, the number of humans who died at your younger brother's hands is not small. I am doing this for the sake of the people. Doing your mother's death. Shark 13 roared, so what if my younger brother killed some humans? In any case, you humans can reproduce. Even if one dies, a whole bunch of others can be born. So what if I snatch some of your treasures? In any case, you humans are rich and can help us. However, you actually dared to kill my brother. This is an unforgivable crime. Today, no one can save you. It was furious to the extreme, and it seemed to be surging with a berserk fury. Even the surrounding seawater began to boil, and the temperature rose. A large amount of water immediately evaporated, condensing into mist. Whoosh! In the blink of an eye, his entire body turned into a flying fish, breaking through the sound barrier by several times. He held the heavenly halberd in his hand, and his body emitted a black glow as he slashed at Xiaoping. This was its peak attack, capable of tearing a mountain apart with a single strike. It could be said that it no longer had any room to hold back, and it wanted to annihilate this damnable human in a single move to avenge its dead brother. Xiaoping casually sent out another palm strike. Layers upon layers of palm shadows appeared in the void, instantly slapping onto Shark Shirsan's halberd, causing a shockwave. Dong! This palm was like the ocean, unfathomable, and contained the energy of the Dark North body protection technique. It was like a kunpeng, nibbling away at its prey, instantly devouring Shark 13's strength. Impossible. Shark Shirsan was simply going crazy. His heavenly halberd desperately wanted to chop off Xiaoping's body, but it was easily blocked by a single hand, and he could not move an inch forward. Its face turned red, and it exerted all of its strength, but it still couldn't do anything. No one can save me. With your strength, do I still need others to save me? You are overestimating yourself. Xiaoping looked at Shark Shirsan indifferently, and his left hand suddenly punched out, containing the power of a spiral. Not good. A Shark Demon Grandmaster saw this, and his expression changed drastically, immediately shouting out. Human, stop. This is the 13th son of my Shark Demon King, the prince of my Shark Demon race. You dare to kill him? You are provoking a great calamity. Hurry up and stop. If you dare to kill him, you will become the enemy of my Shark Demon race, and we will not rest until one of us is dead. Damnable human, do you know what you are doing? Many Shark Demon Grandmasters shouted, and they all stepped forward to stop him. If Shark Shirsan was killed here, it would anger the Shark Demon King, and all of their heads would fall to the ground. Not rest until one of us is dead? Do you think that this is not rest until one of us is dead? Today, not only will Shark Shirsan die, but the so-called Shark Demon King will also die. To dare invade my human territory, this is a serious crime. Even if you flee to the ends of the earth, I won't be able to save you. If you still dare to be arrogant, even the entire Shark Demon race will be exterminated. Xiaoping sneered, and he didn't care about these Shark Demon Grandmasters. In this year, he had braved fire and water, killed descendants of demon kings, and auctioned them. What had he not experienced? How could a mere son of the Shark Demon King threaten him? He was too stupid. Bang! This punch landed on Shark Shirsan's body, and it was like a volcanic explosion. Ah! Shark Shirsan let out a miserable scream, and no matter how he struggled, it was useless. The spiral fist force seeped into his internal organs, and it caused a crazy destruction. In the next second, his entire body exploded, and he turned into a pile of meat paste. He died on the spot. Human Xiaoping, I will kill you. You even dared to kill the prince, Shark Shirsan. You have committed a heinous crime, a heinous crime. Everyone, attack together. Slaughter this sinner Xiaoping, and take revenge for the prince. If we kill this human, we can reduce our punishment. Otherwise, when we return, our heads will definitely roll on the ground. Either this human dies, or we die. We will not rest until we are dead. Seeing Shark Shirsan explode with a single punch from Xiaoping, all the Shark Demon Grandmasters present were dumbfounded. Their eyes were bloodshot from anger, and they were on the verge of exploding. Not to mention how angry they were, they even had thoughts of slaughtering Xiaoping. That was the son of the Shark Demon King, a person of high status and authority, equivalent to a prince of a country. Such a person had a noble status. Was he someone you could kill? If you incurred the wrath of the Shark Demon King, rivers of blood would be considered a light punishment. If you didn't massacre several human cities, you wouldn't be able to quell the Shark Demon King's anger. You didn't consider the consequences at all. This damned greenhorn human, they had to kill him. Human Xiaoping. You actually dared to kill my son. If this king wants you dead, then die now. In the distance, when the Shark Demon King saw this scene, his eyes immediately widened. He roared, and with his body as the center, the water within a radius of dozens of miles exploded, causing a huge tremor. The entire sea seemed to be trembling, and countless dark clouds floated in the sky. Lightning flashed, and thunder rumbled. It was as though a powerful storm was about to arrive, engulfing the sea. On the battlefield, every human, and even every demon, could hear the Shark Demon King's loud roar. It nearly ruptured their eardrums, causing them to buzz. This was the wrath of a king of the sea. Chapter 889. Are you kidding me? You want to kill me? Do you think you have the ability to do so? Xia Ping looked at the sea monsters around him expressionlessly and sneered. Boom! In the blink of an eye, he did not stand where he was. Instead, he chose to attack directly. He rushed toward the sea monsters like a bolt of lightning, bringing with him a violent storm. Is this kid crazy? Charging at a group of masters alone, does he think he is a king? One of the master monsters was dumbfounded and could not understand what was going on. When an ordinary human saw a group of master monsters chasing after him, he would be so scared that he would run away like a rat, wishing that his parents had given him a few more legs. How would he dare to stay where he was? However, this kid did not run away. Instead, he attacked brazenly and rushed into the sea of master monsters. He was like a moth flying into a flame, seeking his own death. I think this human wants to hang himself. He thinks his life is too long. Since he wants to die, how can we not grant him his wish? That's for the best. We can take this opportunity to kill this kid and avenge Shark 13. Many master monsters were filled with murderous intent. They were happy to see this happen. Since the other party did not plan to escape, they had no reason to stop him. They could take this opportunity to send this human to heaven. Bang! 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 They attacked in an instant, showing no mercy. A silver sea snake pounced over. It was 10 meters long and slightly curved like a bow, giving off terrifying explosive power as it charged towards Xia Ping. It was as fast as lightning, wanting to pierce through Xia Ping's body. This was the famous silver light snake. It was from the famous sea snake clan in the Endless Sea. Its speed was extremely fast. Once it unleashed its full speed, it would be like a silver light. Ordinary people would not be able to see its figure. Most of the time, the silver light snake would penetrate its body without even knowing what was going on. Its fangs were extremely poisonous. As long as the skin was slightly bitten, the person would immediately die from the poison. Human, go to hell! Another Grandmaster monster shouted. It was a thunder shark with a lightning symbol engraved on its forehead. Its huge body was covered with winding lightning marks, and purple lightning crackled from time to time. This was also a terrifying shark monster in the Endless Sea. It controlled the power of thunder and lightning. It had a bad temper and could be called a god of war. Even if a few master warriors of the same level besieged it, they would still be no match for this fierce thunder shark. Its entire body seemed to have transformed into a bolt of purple lightning, shuttling through the sea. It was incomparably violent, as if it wanted to turn Xia Ping's body into charcoal in an instant. Kill! A red crab demon that seemed to be condensed from fire energy also stepped on the surface of the sea, madly rushing over. Its body emitted violent fire energy, and its shell emitted balls of magma energy, as if it was carrying a volcano on its back. It was the famous lava crab of the crab demon race. It was said that it lived in a supervolcano at the bottom of the sea and usually fed on magma. It was simply a monster that lived in magma and possessed violent flame energy. Everywhere it went, there was a sea of fire. Ordinary creatures would be burned to ashes in an instant. This type of Grandmaster sea monster was everywhere, and every one of them was extremely terrifying. They could easily destroy a battleship. Ordinary laser cannons could not hit them, and even if they did, they would not be damaged at all. Bang bang bang. In an instant, the attacks of more than 10 Grandmaster Sea monsters smashed onto Xia Ping's body. The power of thunder, fire, poison, and so on all exploded at the same time. Even a mountain would be razed to the ground by this power, completely blown into pieces, leaving nothing behind. But Xia Ping did not care. He just rushed toward this group of monsters like a super tank, fearless and indestructible. Dong! A thin layer of energy shield immediately rose from the universal protective suit on Xia Ping's body. It looked very weak, but this was a defense that even an ordinary king might not be able to break. How could the power of a mere grandmaster do anything to it? Xia Ping relied on the power of his universal protective suit to run rampant. He did not care about the attacks of these grandmasters. Immediately, these attacks bombarded the universal protective suit, and they all dissipated. After the power of these attacks was continuously weakened by the layers of the universal protective suit, when they reached Xia Ping's body, they were almost negligible. They could not hurt Xia Ping at all. Impossible. The silver light snake was dumbfounded. It realized that its attack, which it had been so confident in, was like hitting a piece of cotton when it hit Xia Ping. All the impact was absorbed cleanly. No matter how hard it tried, it could not hurt Xia Ping. Oh no! The silver light snake's face suddenly changed. It found that Xia Ping was very close. He was like a super tank that had gone out of control. With invincible power, he rushed over and slammed into its body. Dong! This collision was like an ancient giant elephant crushing an ant. It produced a flood-like power, and the surrounding air condensed into a substance, like ripples spreading out in all directions. Ah! The silver light snake let out a shrill scream. Its body could not withstand this terrifying power. It was smashed into a pile of meat paste on the spot. Its body, which was more than 10 meters long, was broken into more than 10 pieces. Even before the impact ended, the 2 or 3 Grandmaster monsters behind the silver light snake were also affected. It was as if a series of supercar accidents had occurred. Terrifying collisions occurred one after another. Bang! 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 In an instant, 3 Grandmaster demons were slammed to death. Some of them had their heads smashed into mush, while others had their organs ruptured. Some of them were unlucky and were struck by the broken limbs of the demons in front of them, causing their hearts to explode. Too fierce. Is this still a human? He's simply an animal. Whoever says that Brother Xia will be a human in the future, I'll be angry with him. Even the legendary ancient giant elephant is nothing more than this. It's too violent. He just rushed over and killed 2 or 3 Grandmaster monsters. It's too scary. How strong is his strength? Strength is secondary. Didn't you see more than a dozen Grandmaster monsters attacking him? He's actually unharmed. My God, he's unharmed. What kind of protective qigong did he cultivate? It's not a protective qigong. I can see it now. This kid is wearing a universal protective suit. It's said that it's a secret treasure that can only be found in ruins. Ordinary grandmasters can't break through its defense. My God, isn't this kid invincible? Which of those grandmaster monsters is a match for him? No wonder he dared to be so arrogant. These grandmaster monsters are really unlucky to have met Brother Xia. Chapter 890. Damn it, this human is too ferocious. He's a freak. How can we beat him? He's wearing the secret universal protective suit. No wonder our attacks are useless. How can we fight him? This human is like a hedgehog. We can't touch him at all. Seeing that a few Grandmaster monsters were killed by Xia Ping with one punch, the remaining Grandmaster monsters' expressions changed. They could see how terrifying Xia Ping was. Just the universal protective suit he was wearing was not something they could break. Even if they used all their strength, they would not be able to hurt this human at all. Instead, if the human touched them and punched them, they would be seriously injured even if they did not die. If that was the case, what was the point of fighting? Wouldn't they just be sending themselves to death? Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The group of Grandmaster monsters quickly fled in all directions, not daring to fight Xia Ping head-on. Why are you running? Didn't you want to kill me? If you have the guts, stay and fight me for 800 rounds, Xia Ping shouted as he chased the group of Grandmaster monsters. Fight my ass. Many of the Grandmaster monsters fled in a sorry state. Their faces were green as they cursed in their hearts. Shameless human, take off the universal protective suit if you have the guts and fight them to the death. He was clearly wearing a tortoise shell that even ordinary kings could not penetrate. He came here to bully them, showing off and bullying them. He was simply shameless. If they also had this secret treasure, would they be afraid of a puny human? But no matter how angry they were, they could do nothing about it. They did not have such a treasure, so none of them could do anything to this human. Brother Xia is too ferocious. He's chasing a group of grandmasters. A human grandmaster was speechless. If a group of grandmaster monsters were to fight a human grandmaster together, the human grandmaster would definitely be dead. There was no reason for him to survive. But now, the situation seemed to be reversed. This group of Grandmaster monsters was being crushed by the human Grandmaster. One Grandmaster was beating up a group of them. It was extremely ferocious. They had never seen such a situation in their lives. The universal protective suit is indeed powerful. With this defensive equipment, one is practically invincible. That's equipment that ordinary kings would find difficult to penetrate. Of course it's powerful. Don't talk nonsense here. Take advantage of their weakness and kill them. This is the best time to defeat these sea monsters. That's right. Let's work together with Brother Xia to destroy these Grandmaster monsters. Many human Grandmasters immediately came to their senses. Now was not the time for them to watch a good show. One by one, they rushed forward and protected Xia Ping from behind to deal with the group of Grandmaster monsters. Originally, the group of sea demons was already under great pressure when facing Xia Ping alone. Now, with the addition of a large number of human grandmasters, the pressure was unprecedentedly strong. There was no way they could withstand it. Damn it! Damned human, I'll kill you! A golden snake demon roared. It was anxious from being chased by Xia Ping. It swung its huge tail and wanted to hit Xia Ping fiercely. Such a collision was equivalent to a heavy truck crashing at a speed of 500 km per hour. Ordinary grandmasters would probably vomit blood if they were hit by this attack. However, when this attack landed on Xia Ping's body, it was continuously weakened by the layers of defense of the universal protective suit. In the end, Xia Ping was unscathed. He was easily blocked. Dong! Xia Ping took advantage of this opportunity and gave a backhand punch. In an instant, the golden snake demon's entire head exploded, leaving only a headless corpse that fell into the sea. Seeing this, more than a dozen Grandmaster monsters were also anxious. They rushed towards Xia Ping and used all their skills, wanting to deal a fatal blow to Xia Ping. However, it was useless. More than a dozen human grandmasters behind Xia Ping also took advantage of this opportunity to kill these monster grandmasters one by one. Some of them split a shark demon in half with a single sword strike. The cut was smooth. Some of them held a huge hammer with great strength, smashing the head of a crab demon with one strike. Even the crab's shell did not help. Some of them held a sickle and kept cutting the throat. With one slash, the entire head was instantly sent flying. It was indestructible. These human grandmasters all displayed powerful martial arts skills. With Xia Ping blocking in front, they could attack the monster grandmasters with ease without worrying about themselves getting hurt. This won't do. We're no match for them at all. This human Xia Ping is like a turtle shell. He can't be killed no matter how we hit him. He's just too disgusting. He's not afraid of death just because he has treasures. He's always blocking in front. He's shameless to the extreme. Despicable humans, take off your turtle shell if you have the guts. Let's fight to the death. Many of the Grandmaster monsters were infuriated. They had never encountered such a situation. With Xia Ping acting as a tank in front of them, he blocked all their attacks. When they were exhausted, the human Grandmasters behind them would attack again. It was like they were mowing grass, harvesting the lives of the demon Grandmasters. In just 10 minutes, hundreds of demon Grandmasters had been killed. If this continued, they would probably be completely wiped out. Darn humans. In the distance, the shark demon monarch and the other demon monarchs' faces were as black as ink when they saw the situation. They were extremely gloomy. Every death of a Grandmaster made their hearts bleed. These Grandmaster monsters were the elites of their species. Now, they were like grass being harvested and killed by these darn humans one by one. If they could exchange a life for a life, perhaps their deaths would have been worth it. However, that was not the case at all. It was a one-sided massacre. A large number of demon Grandmasters had died, but not many human Grandmasters had died. There were almost none who were seriously injured. All of this was because of Xia Ping. No, this human Xia Ping must die. If we let this human do as he pleases, our elite soldiers will be completely finished. Kill him. Kill this human Xia Ping immediately. We can't let him continue acting so arrogantly. Many demon kings were filled with murderous intent. They could all see that the situation was one-sided because Xia Ping was wearing a turtle shell. Relying on the fact that he could not die, he stirred up trouble everywhere and stirred up shit. If not for Xia Ping, they wouldn't have lost so many Grandmasters. I'm going to kill him personally. With a boom, the shark demon monarch roared. He could no longer sit still and directly flew over from behind the army. He wanted to personally take action and kill the human once and for all. Immediately, the entire world changed color. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Strong winds howled and the sea surged. The Sea King had taken action. What? The expressions of many human Grandmasters changed. They immediately felt unprecedented pressure. It was as if a mountain was pressing down on their bodies. They could barely move and even breathing was a little difficult. The reason they stayed in the battleship was to prevent the demon kings from acting. Now, it seemed that the shark monster king didn't care about face at all and directly attacked a member of the younger generation. How could this be? They couldn't sit still any longer and immediately rushed out of the battleship. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In the blink of an eye, dozens of human kings appeared in midair. The one leading them was Zhao Zhong. He stood in midair as if he was walking on flat ground. It was as if gravity didn't exist for him. His eyes were like lightning, emitting a frightening radiance. Dong! The moment Zhao Zhong appeared, he instantly attacked. He arrived in front of Xia Ping and punched the shark demon monarch's body. Immediately, an earth-shattering sound erupted. It was like an explosion of a tsunami that swept through countless beaches and drowned the cities on the sea. Zhao Zhong! The shark fiend monarch roared. His expression was malevolent. After receiving this punch, he was forced to retreat several kilometers. His eyes were bloodshot, filled with bloodthirst and cruelty. You actually dare to obstruct this king? Today, this king will definitely tear you apart. He was enraged to the extreme. If it wasn't for Zhao Zhong, he would have killed this human Xia Ping with a single strike. He would have gotten rid of this scourge that had killed countless experts of the shark demon race. Tear my ass! Xia Ping shouted, Senior Zhao, tear this shark apart immediately. Tonight, we will have a seafood feast. I heard that shark fins taste pretty good. Let's slaughter this shark. Seafood feast. Who did he think the shark fiend monarch was? Was he just a dish? He could eat whenever he wanted to. This was a king of the sea, how could it be so easy to deal with? The mouths of many kings twitched. They didn't expect that this brat could still be so lively at this moment. It was as if he had no fear of the kings at all. If it were an ordinary expert, they would have long been trembling in fear in front of a king. Their faces would be ashen. How would they dare to shout? Zhao Zhong was also speechless. He didn't know what he should say. This brat's guts were simply boundless. It was as if he had no fear at all. Hearing this, many of the sea demons were dumbfounded. They looked at Xia Ping as if he was a fool. This human was simply crazy. He actually dared to say such words to the famous shark fiend monarch. He even wanted to turn him into shark fins. If this wasn't thinking that his life was too long, what else could it be? You still want to tear this king apart and turn him into shark fins? You human, you are so audacious. You have committed a heinous crime. This king will kill you right now. Let's see who can stop me. The shark fiend monarch was so angry that he was practically stamping his feet. This human actually dared to say that he would eat him alive and turn him into a seafood feast right in front of him. If he didn't kill this arrogant human, his name as the shark fiend monarch would be read backwards in the future. Boom! A terrifying aura immediately erupted from the shark fiend monarch. His powers vibrated as if the entire sea was under his control. With a gentle wave of his tail, huge waves were set off. Immediately, terrifying pillars of water rose from the sea and shot into the sky. They produced a terrifying collision force that blasted towards Xia Ping, crushing everything in their path. I said, with me here, don't you dare be so arrogant. Zhao Zhong snorted coldly. He patted his waist and immediately, a 3-foot-long sword appeared. His body was filled with green sword chi that constantly flashed like lightning. It was also like the tongue of a poisonous snake. He slashed out with his sword, condensing a pillar of sword chi that was extremely sharp. In an instant, the pillar of water in front of him was sliced into pieces. One sword chi even swept out, splitting the sea in half. It was as if a tunnel had been created under the sea. Zhao Zhong, I want your life. The shark fiend monarch was enraged and rushed forward. He knew that if he wanted to kill Xia Ping, he had to first eliminate this human king, Zhao Zhong. Bang bang bang. The two kings crazily collided in midair. It was as if two balls of energy were colliding in a frenzy. The sky, the sea, the island, and all other places had become the battlefield of the two kings. Each collision produced a huge storm that swept up hundreds of tons of seawater, affecting a radius of dozens of kilometers. The surrounding warships were desperately trying to escape. Once they were sucked into the whirlpool of seawater, they would immediately be slapped away by dozens of tons of seawater and directly crushed into scrap metal. Chapter 892. Brother Shark, let me help you. Don't panic. We can destroy mere humans. Let's attack together and kill these human kings. Just as the battle between the Shark Demon King and Zhao Zhong broke out, the many Sea Demon Kings that had been waiting in the back could no longer sit still. They all chose to attack and attack. Some of them were the subordinates of the Shark Demon King, while others were his friends. They were all the Demon Kings of the nearby seas. Now, the Shark Demon King had gathered them together to deal with the humans. The number of these Demon Kings was no less than that of the human kings. There were dozens of them. The strongest among them were naturally the Crab Demon King, Sea Snake King, Prawn Demon King, and other kings. They shot forward like arrows and killed their way into the group of human kings. Bang bang bang. In an instant, the human kings and the Sea Demon Kings began to fight, forming a terrifying battlefield. Every time the kings clashed with each other, there was an earth-shattering explosion. One collision, one explosion, both destroyed a part of the sea. It was as if hundreds of missiles were exploding at the same time, shaking up the entire sea and creating a storm. Huge amounts of seawater flooded in all directions, forming a tsunami. Luckily, this was the sea. If it was land, everything within thousands of kilometers would be flattened. But even so, the human troops and sea demons all fled, not daring to get close to the cruel battle between kings. Touching it meant certain death. So strong. Is this a battle between kings? It's too scary. We can't get close at all. Getting close means death. With such power, even a warship would be smashed into scrap metal. No wonder everyone below the king level is an ant. I didn't believe it before, thinking that we were all humans. How could there be such a huge difference? Now, it seems like I'm a frog in a well. Becoming a king means that you're no longer an ordinary person. Many human grandmasters watched the battle between the kings in shock. This was not a battle they could intervene in. It had already transcended another dimension. Even the aftershock of the shockwave was enough to kill a group of grandmasters. Ordinary humans were even worse. A single breath could kill a group of them. They were as weak as ants. The difference was too great. Is this a king who has opened up the Purple Palace and has magical powers? He's unbelievably strong. Xia Ping clenched his fists, and his eyes shone with excitement. The difference between a grandmaster and a king was that one had Gang Qi, while the other had Dharma power. Magic power was a mysterious power. It was a high-level energy of the universe and was not something that Gang Qi could compare with. In the universe, only those who possessed magic power were considered mortals. Only then were they barely qualified to survive on the many planets. Huh. All of a sudden, a silhouette flickered over, breaking through the void. An intense killing intent enveloped Xia Ping, causing his hair to stand on end. It was as though he was facing a great enemy, as though he was being stared at by a ferocious tiger. Demon King. A cold gleam appeared in Xia Ping's eyes. His mental energy could sense that this mysterious shadow was actually a demonic king. It had sneakily attacked the human kings when they were caught off guard. It wanted to take this chance to kill him. Dong! The speed of this demon king was simply too fast. It was not something that a grandmaster could react to. A punch landed on Xia Ping's body, trying to kill him in one hit. Go to hell. The demon king sneered, and a ferocious expression appeared on its face. It seemed that it wanted to see Xia Ping's terrified expression when he died. It had been hiding for a long time, and it wanted to launch a sneak attack at this moment. As expected, at this critical moment, many human kings were on the battlefield and could not escape in a short time. Therefore, it sneaked to the rear and wanted to kill Xia Ping, the scourge of humanity. What? However, in the next second, the demon king's face was filled with shock. It realized that its punch on Xia Ping's body was like hitting cotton. Its powerful fist energy was being weakened layer by layer. It seemed that its power could not penetrate the human's clothes at all. Dong! This punch immediately sent Xia Ping flying 5 or 6 kilometers away. He slid across the surface of the sea and splashed up a large amount of waves. Oh no! Many human kings were shocked, and their expressions changed drastically. They were not prepared at all. They did not expect that there would be another king hiding in the void and attacking Xia Ping at this moment. By the time they wanted to act, the demon king had already punched Xia Ping, and they could not save him in time. Damn demon king, you dare to bully the weak. Just you wait. One day, I will cook you and make you into a seafood feast. Xia Ping crawled out of the sea and cursed at the demon king. He did not expect that he would almost fail miserably. Fortunately, he was wearing the universal protective suit. Even if it was an ordinary king's attack, it would not be able to penetrate the universal protective suit and hurt him. Otherwise, that punch just now would have directly knocked him out of his hexagram. Damn it! The demon king's face turned green. It did not expect that its painstaking attack would have no effect on this human. Now, he was still alive and kicking, and even cursed at it. Is this a joke? Is he still a grandmaster? How could he block the Demon King's attack? This is impossible. Is this kid a king in human skin? It could not understand. Shadow Demon King, it's really you. You are here to stir up shit. Are you behind the war between the human race and the sea demon tribe? Zhao Zhong's eyes flashed coldly as he stared at the Shadow Demon King. He immediately recognized the Demon King's true identity. He would remember it even if it turned into ashes. In the past wars between the human race and the Thousand Demon Mountain, the Shadow Demon King would often come out to cause trouble, causing great trouble for the human race. It could be said that the Shadow Demon King was notorious among the human race. Human Xiaoping, consider yourself lucky that I can't kill you this time. Next time, I'll take your life. The Shadow Goblin King laughed coldly. He was an assassin. Once he missed his target, he would immediately flee. Whoosh! In the next second, he turned into a shadow and instantly left the battlefield. He did not even look back. No one knew how far he had disappeared. Damn it! Many human kings were enraged. However, they could not do anything about the Shadow Demon King's arrogance. The Shadow Demon King was proficient in manipulating shadows and could leave without a trace. It was impossible to catch him. They could only watch as the Shadow Demon King escaped. Shadow Demon King, just you wait. The next time we meet, it will be the day of your death. Xia Ping clenched his fists. He had never suffered such a loss before. He did not expect to be almost killed by the Shadow Demon King. The next time they met, he would definitely kill this guy and take his revenge. But first, I will collect some interest. I will kill this group of grandmasters. Chapter 893. Go to Hell. Taking advantage of the battle between the human monarchs and the sea demon monarchs, Xia Ping immediately attacked the group of grandmaster demons and began a frenzied pursuit. Many human grandmasters immediately followed when they saw this. They felt that this was a great opportunity. If they didn't beat them up now, when would they? Bang! 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 At that moment, Xia Ping was like a god of war. He charged into the grandmaster demons and attacked repeatedly. With each punch, he instantly blew up a grandmaster demon, causing its entire body to explode. Ordinary grandmaster demons were unable to withstand a single punch from Xia Ping. He was invincible. Darn human. He dares to strut around here just because he has the universal defense suit. If you have what it takes, fight the demon monarchs. What kind of hero are you to bully us? This won't do. This kid is like a tortoise shell. I can't break it no matter how I hit him. The expressions of many grandmaster demons changed drastically. They finally felt what the grandmaster demons had felt before. Xia Ping was like a super tank. And they were just unarmed ordinary people. They were helpless against a tank's charge. After all, it was a dream to break through a tank's defenses with their bare hands. With Xia Ping's defense, the other human grandmasters let loose and began killing the grandmaster demons. The more these grandmaster demons died, the more advantageous it was for the battle. After all, other demons were just cannon fodder against the human warships. A sweep of the warships would result in a large swath of them dying. They could do nothing to the humans. 10 minutes later, the group of grandmaster demons retreated in defeat. More than 3,000 grandmaster demons had died. They were terror-stricken and on the verge of collapse. This won't do, Shark Demon Monarch. If this continues, our elites will probably be wiped out by the humans. We can't fight anymore. We have to retreat and regroup. A demon monarch's face turned green when he saw this. His heart was bleeding. These Grandmaster demons were his trusted subordinates, but now, most of them had been killed by the humans. He could not stand it. If it were to continue like this, it would probably become a single commander after the end of the war. Retreat. Retreat immediately. The shark demon monarch's expression was extremely gloomy. Although he was overbearing and condescending, he was no fool. He naturally knew that this was not the time to act on impulse. He immediately gave the order to retreat. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. As soon as this order was issued, many of the sea demons were overjoyed. They no longer dared to fight with the humans. One by one, they retreated and led the army to flee into the depths of the sea. Many of the monster kings and human kings retreated as they fought, quickly retreating from the battlefield. The human monarchs were in no hurry to give chase. After all, these demons still had a considerable amount of strength. If they were to recklessly chase after them, they might end up encountering a trap. It was better to take things slow and steady. We've won. We've finally won. That bunch of stupid sea demons. They even wanted to invade our human territory. They should have learned their lesson by now. Killing 3,000 of their grandmasters is enough to make them suffer for a while. We can't let our guard down so easily. These sea monsters won't give up so easily. Their main force is still here. That's right. This is just the beginning. We still have a tough battle to fight. Fortunately, we have Xia Ping. Otherwise, it would not be so easy for us to kill a Grandmaster monster. That's right. This young junior is really amazing. The new generation will always surpass the old. Many human Grandmasters discussed excitedly. When they saw the sea demons fleeing, they knew that the humans had already won the battle. They had killed so many sea demons that they fled like rats. Many Grandmasters came up to Xia Ping, expressing their gratitude and wanting to befriend him. After all, they all knew that as long as Xia Ping didn't die, he would definitely become a king. If they didn't come to befriend him now, when would they? Those who knew how to behave would know what to do. Xia Ping, you did well this time. At this time, some human kings also descended and came to Xia Ping's side. King Zhaozhong smiled slightly. He looked at this junior and was instantly very satisfied. He had originally thought that this battle would end in mutual destruction, causing the giant island to be unable to recover. But now, Xia Ping had appeared out of nowhere and caused the sea demons to flee like rats. He had gained the upper hand. This was the effect of a monstrous genius. A monstrous genius was equivalent to 100 geniuses. This was not a lie. It was just like Einstein. Even 100 ordinary researchers couldn't compare to him. This was the effect of a monstrous genius. You're too polite. Seniors, you're too polite. We're all humans. Fighting against the sea demons is everyone's responsibility. I just did what I could. This is nothing. Xia Ping waved his hand and revealed a look of awe-inspiring righteousness, indicating that it was just a slight effort and not a great merit. Of course, I'm not saying this for the sake of a big reward. Even if there's no reward, I won't complain. After all, it's all for the sake of humanity. Hearing this, Zhaozhong's mouth twitched. He could clearly hear the hidden meaning in this kid's words. He seemed to be saying that since he had made such a great contribution, it wouldn't be right if he didn't give him a reward. This was the first time he had seen a young man openly asking for a reward. But he had no choice. After all, Xia Ping had made such a great contribution. If he didn't give him a reward, it would be disappointing. In this case, who would still risk their lives for the giant island? Well, there's still a reward. You can make a request. As long as it's within my capabilities, it won't be a problem. Zhaozhong gritted his teeth and gave a reward. Many grandmasters were in an uproar. This was a promise from a king. Countless people were envious of this. This kid had really struck it rich. Really? I want these things. Xia Ping's heart stirred. He immediately made a request to Zhao Zhong, asking for a large amount of materials. These were all materials needed to modify the moon god. Some of them were controlled by the military. Without sufficient authority, ordinary people wouldn't be able to obtain them. He asked for materials worth 2 trillion federal coins. No problem. Zhao Zhong originally thought that Xia Ping would ask for a lot and was prepared to be ripped off. He didn't expect Xia Ping to know his limits. Although 2 trillion federal coins was a lot, it was nothing compared to Xia Ping's contribution. After all, if the sea demons broke through the giant island, the losses would be even greater. However, the reason why Xia Ping didn't ask for a lot was because he had other plans. Now that the sea demons had come out in full force, wouldn't their nest be empty? If he took this opportunity to attack the enemy's nest, he might be able to make a huge profit. Chapter 894. At this moment, many of the monster kings had retreated hundreds of kilometers to an island. Meanwhile, the sea monster army was scattered around the island. They were so dense that they covered the sky and looked suffocating. It was like the nest of monsters. However, the entire army was gloomy and depressed. This was also a very normal thing. Before they set off, they all thought that this would be a leisurely war. As long as the army arrived, the puny humans would be crushed to death. There was no reason for them to survive. But now, they realized that before they could even get close to the human island, they were already fleeing like rats. 3,000 master monsters had died, and countless small monsters had died. The losses were incalculable. It was not an exaggeration to say that this was a heavy loss. Damn it, it's all because of that human, Xia Ping. The crab monster king gritted his teeth and pointed out the culprit of this war. If not for this son of a bitch, we wouldn't be in such a miserable state. We're being beaten back again and again. It's all that bitch's fault. He gritted his teeth and wanted to swallow Xia Ping alive. Indeed, if not for this human, our master monsters wouldn't have died so many times. If not for his universal protective suit that can block the attacks of ordinary kings, our master monsters would have crushed him to death long ago. He wouldn't have had a chance to continue acting so arrogantly. This human is indeed a scourge. He's only a master, but he's already brought such heavy losses to us sea monsters. What will happen when he becomes a king? Won't he be able to kill us dozens of times? We must kill him. Otherwise, we sea monsters will never have a day of peace. That's right. If he doesn't die, who will take revenge for our subordinates? Many of the demon kings were extremely angry. If Xia Ping was here, they would definitely cut this brat into pieces. Even the gods and immortals wouldn't be able to save him. The problem is that it's too difficult to kill him. The Sea Snake King said in a deep voice, "Just now, Shadow Monster King personally tried to assassinate this kid, but he escaped unscathed. As long as he wears this universal protective suit, ordinary kings, and even high-level kings might not be able to kill him. Unless an invincible king personally attacks, he'll definitely die." Many of the monster kings were speechless. If the invincible monster kings were to take action personally, then things would get serious. If an all-out war broke out, the monster kings might not be able to survive. Besides, they couldn't invite an invincible demon king for this kind of thing. We don't have to kill him face to face. Maybe we can use some tricks. The eyes of a monster king flickered, revealing a ferocious look. This brat should have parents and relatives. If we act personally and enter the human world, we can capture all of them and threaten this human. At that time, he will have no choice but to obediently submit. It was vicious and merciless, wanting to capture Xia Ping's family to threaten them. No, it won't work at all. That kid's parents aren't in the cloud realm at all. They seem to be in the humans' base camp, planet Yen Huang. The shark demon monarch shook his head. If we want to go to Yanhuang planet, it will be equivalent to entering the myriad monster mountain to cause trouble. This is courting death. Unless the Demon King is prepared to die, there's only a sliver of a chance of success. Is there any Demon King willing to make such a sacrifice? It looked around expectantly. Sacrifice your sister. The group of Demon Kings all lowered their heads. They were all Demon Kings, each with a promising future. They ruled a sea region and could live for thousands of years. Who knew how much glory and wealth they could enjoy? In order to kill a small human, they actually had to risk their lives. Wasn't this a joke? Moreover, there was no blood feud between the two sides. Although this human was indeed a threat, it was not to the extent of forcing the Demon Kings to sacrifice themselves. No, even if his parents aren't around, does it mean that he has no classmates or friends after coming to the Cloud Realm? Capturing them will have the same effect, the Demon King shouted. The Monster King shouted. Since one plan had failed, he came up with another plan. But I heard that this kid is also hated by everyone in the human world. I don't know how many enemies he has provoked. I guess there are more people who want to kill him than us demons. The Sea Snake King also got a lot of information about Xia Ping. Moreover, this guy is cold and evil. Even if we really capture his classmates to threaten him, they probably won't let this kid compromise. He expressed that this kid was very stubborn, and it was very difficult to threaten him. Damn it, does he not have any weaknesses? Does he really not have a single friend? A Demon King said gloomily. This kid could still live until now, making enemies everywhere. Did no one want to kill him? I don't know if he has friends, but he does have a loyal subordinate called Feng Hatang. He helps him manage a small martial arts organization at Yanhuang University, the Sea Snake King said in a low voice. But this damn fatty is very afraid of death. He knows that many people want to capture him to threaten Xia Ping, so he hides in Yanhuang University and refuses to go out even if you beat him to death. This kid is also relying on this martial arts organization to act like a tyrant. He's living a good life. He expressed that there was nothing he could do. Yanhuang University's defense was not inferior to Giant Island, and it was in the deepest part of the human territory. If they dared to break in, they would die without a doubt. Damn it, he doesn't even have a friend, only a loyal subordinate. What about female friends? Male humans at this age are all like gorillas. He must have many women around him, right? Does he not want to have sex with women? A Demon King asked. Indeed, there are many, too many to count. There are several scandals with him. The most famous one seems to be called Qiuxiu and Su Mei. The Sea Snake King recalled the information. What are we waiting for? Capture them immediately and torture them. Let's see if that bitch Xia Ping will give in or not, a Demon King said fiercely, wanting to capture the two women. Many Demon Kings were also moved. If they captured these two female friends, no matter how Xia Ping jumped, he would have to listen to them obediently. He would be like a fish on the chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered. There's a problem here. These two women just advanced to king level not long ago, and it seems that they killed two Demon Kings of Myriad Monster Mountain as soon as they advanced. They're a mess. I guess if we go over, we'll just be sending ourselves to death. If we want to capture them, we probably have to be mentally prepared. The Sea Snake King expressed that this plan was a bit difficult. What? Many Demon Kings were speechless. They seemed to remember that these two humans had just advanced to female king level, and they actually killed two Demon Kings of Myriad Monster Mountain as soon as they advanced. Without a doubt, these two people's talent was very terrifying, and they had the potential to become invincible kings. It probably wouldn't be long before they became high-level kings. Facing such terrifying people, if they dared to go over, they would be courting death. They completely didn't expect this damned human to be so flawless around Xia Ping. They were so angry that they almost went crazy. However, these Demon Kings still didn't give up. They wanted to find Xia Ping's flaws and kill him in one strike. Some suggested assassination, some suggested poisoning, and some suggested a honey trap, using beautiful female demons to seduce him, and when they were in bed, they would expose his little brother. Chapter 895. The sky was dark, and the bright moon was high in the sky. At this moment, tens of thousands of miles away from the giant island was the lair of the Shark Demon King. His palace was built in the deep sea thousands of meters below this sea. Whoosh! A wormhole immediately appeared in the sky above this sea, and a super battleship jumped out. It was the moon god owned by Xia Ping. He had directly jumped from the giant island to this place. According to the intelligence of the giant corporation, the lair of the Shark Demon King should be under this sea. Xia Ping was inside the moon god, staring at the sea below. The wind was calm, as if nothing had happened. It was like the eve of a storm. Shark Demon King, I must teach you a lesson this time. Xia Ping clenched his fists. He learned from the system that many monster kings were discussing various evil plans to deal with him. Some monster kings even proposed to go to planet Yanhuang to deal with his parents. This was a heinous crime. In the end, they felt that it was too dangerous to go to planet Yanhuang and rejected this proposal. But even so, he could feel the sinister intentions of these sea monster kings. In order to deal with him, they would stop at nothing. If his parents stayed in the cloud world, they would probably use all kinds of methods to capture them. There was always a saying that one could be a thief for 1,000 days, but there was no such thing as guarding against thieves for 1,000 days. Therefore, he had to teach the Shark Demon Monarch and the other demon monarchs a painful lesson this time. If he did not thoroughly beat them up and leave them with unforgettable pain, they would probably not know who they were dealing with. Corinne, can you really search for powerhouses within a radius of 10,000 miles? Xia Ping's heart moved, and he said to the AI in his hand. Corinne also lived in this AI and followed him. Whoosh! Immediately, light gathered, and Corinne immediately appeared in front of Xia Ping. He said, of course, for the AI, this is simply child's play. It has an automatic enemy detection system. As long as they are within its detection range, cultivators below the sage level will have nowhere to hide, unless the other party has some secret treasure that can block the system's detection. However, to find such a secret treasure on such a primitive planet is simply harder than reaching the sky. He was extremely proud. For this invasion of the Shark Demon King's lair, Xia Ping was fully prepared. After all, this was a monster king's city. Who knew what would happen? If he were to accidentally bump into an invincible demon king, he would probably be killed with a single slap. Thus, with the help of the AI, they could search for enemies in the surroundings. This way, they could nip the problem in the bud. Alright, you may leave. With a so sound, Xia Ping immediately disembarked from the moon god ship. Then he placed the moon god ship into his spatial ring and took out his water avoidance pearl. Immediately, a transparent air shield appeared around his body, and with a splash, he fell into the deep sea. The transparent air cover also sank rapidly. After half an hour, Xia Ping finally arrived at the seabed, which was thousands of meters deep. This is Shark Demon Monarch's lair. Truly amazing. Xia Ping's pupils shrank. He felt as if he had really arrived at the deep-sea dragon palace. There was actually a huge underwater city in the depths of the sea. There were all kinds of buildings and palaces everywhere. There were living areas, commercial areas, military areas, and even royal palaces. It was no different from a king. Furthermore, this underwater city was 100 times more luxurious than the Silver Flood Dragon King's lair that Xia Ping had encountered previously. The size of the city was also more than 1,000 times larger. From this, one could see the huge difference between the two. The wealth of the sea demon monarchs was evident. It was not something that the sea demon monarchs could compare with. Riding the water avoidance pearl, Xia Ping quickly approached. He discovered that the entire underwater city seemed to be covered by an energy shield. The entire shield was transparent, isolating the seawater. He did not know what kind of technology was used. This is the city gate. Xia Ping cautiously advanced. Controlling the water avoidance pearl, he turned it into a bubble and silently approached the underwater city. Soon, he arrived at the entrance of the underwater city. At the entrance, there was a huge city gate. It was several hundred meters tall and could accommodate all kinds of deep-sea monsters. At this moment, there was an endless stream of carriages outside the city gate. All kinds of sea monsters were entering and exiting the city. There were many powerful sea demon guards standing around the entrance. Most of them were shark demons. They held long spears in their hands and wore black armor. They had solemn expressions as they stared sternly at every demon that entered and exited the place. Even around the city gate, there were many tyrannical grandmaster auras hidden. The city was heavily guarded. Corinne, is there a king in this city? Xia Ping's heart stirred and he immediately moved. Boom! Immediately, with the brain as the center, a strange fluctuation spread in all directions, covering a radius of several thousand kilometers. It was silent, and no one noticed it. No, the strongest expert in this city is only at the 9th level of the Grandmaster realm. There is no monster king. Corinne replied. Great. Xia Ping touched his chin. He reckoned that the shark demon king did not expect that his nest would be attacked by humans one day. Therefore, he took all the monster kings around him and attacked the giant island together. After all, his underwater city was thousands of meters deep in the underwater world. The pressure of the seawater alone was not something that ordinary humans could resist. It was a natural barrier. Throughout history, not many humans had come to the underwater world. Except for some human kings who had come to these places to trade, no one else had. Whoosh! Xia Ping rode the water avoidance pearl. It also had an invisibility function. Distorting light, he carefully followed a sea monster and sneaked into the underwater city. The surrounding shark demon guards did not find anything. They stared at the sea monsters around them seriously as usual. Nothing happened. After entering, Xia Ping immediately felt enlightened. He felt that he had really entered the world of sea monsters. Along the way, there was an endless stream of traffic, and all kinds of strange sea monsters emerged one after another. There was an electric eel whose whole body was emitting purple lightning. It seemed to be constantly generating electricity to operate the machines around it. There was an octopus on the roadside. Its 8 claws were holding kitchen utensils, frantically chopping vegetables. Knives and swords flashed as it constantly made all kinds of delicious food, attracting countless customers. There was also a whale lying in the middle of the garden. Its back was constantly spraying water, and it seemed to be performing a fountain. Many sea monster children ran on the ground barefoot, constantly exclaiming in surprise. It seemed that they wanted to pounce on the whale. The area of the entire city was too large. It was comparable to the giant island. The main race was the Shark Demon clan, but there were also other sea monster races who came to settle here. It was very lively and prosperous. The inner city of the city was where the Shark Demon King lived. It was the palace, and unauthorized people were not allowed to enter and exit at will. It was heavily guarded. Chapter 896. Huh. Xia Ping originally wanted to sneak into the palace, but as soon as he got close, he immediately felt that the entire palace was surrounded by a super formation. A huge energy barrier enveloped the surroundings, like an eggshell covering the entire place. Anyone who wants to break into the palace must pass through this energy shield. But if he wants to pass through, he will definitely alarm the guards of the entire palace, and at that time, it may cause big trouble. Moreover, this energy shield has almost no blind spots. Apart from the entrance of the palace, No one can enter or exit from other places. The defense is very tight. I didn't expect that on this aboriginal planet, there would actually be someone who knows array techniques and can manipulate the energy of heaven and earth to form a domain. It is not simple. Corinne's eyes flickered, seemingly seeing the array formation of the palace. Corinne, do you have a way to break this array formation? Xia Ping asked curiously. There is no way. Corinne shook his head. The knowledge of array formation is considered a top secret even in the universe. Only the big sects are qualified to teach it, and it is very difficult to get started. At that time, there were also people in the Myriad Stars sect who knew array techniques, but I, after all, am just an AI. I don't have too much knowledge in this area. I only know some ordinary knowledge, nothing more than a layman. He indicated that he couldn't break the array formation here. This is a bit troublesome. Xia Ping touched his chin, his eyes flickering. If he forcibly broke this barrier array formation, perhaps it would cause a commotion among the guards of the entire palace, which would be disadvantageous to his next action. The problem was, if he didn't forcibly break it, he wouldn't be able to enter. Da-da-da. Suddenly, rhythmic sounds of horse hooves came from afar, trampling on the ground, sending out strange vibrations. Then, a luxurious carriage galloped over from afar. Impressively, it was pulled by two huge flood dragons, which seemed to contain a trace of ancient bloodline. They had long horns on their heads, and their whole body was purple, exuding a fierce aura. Their eyes were as big as lanterns, extremely frightening. Their four limbs trampled on the ground, creating astonishing potholes. The earth trembled, and their imposing manner was astonishing. Such flood dragons, even in the endless sea, could be called overlords. They had the potential to be promoted to kings, and their strength was tyrannical. Not many people dared to provoke them. But now, he was actually pulling a carriage and working as a coachman. One could imagine just how shocking the identity of the person inside the carriage was. Around the carriage were many powerful shark demons. They rode seahorses and held spears in their hands. They seemed to be loyal guards protecting the owner of the carriage. A group of people ran over. Xia Ping counted carefully and found that there were at least 1,000 followers. If it's not Shark Demon Monarch, who is it? Xia Ping's eyes flickered. He was able to sense that these guards and the owner of the carriage were at the Grand Master realm at most, and they were definitely not at the King realm. However, the extravagance was shocking. It was obvious that he was an important person of high status. The problem was, could there be someone more precious than the Shark Demon King in his lair? Xia Ping hid at the side, relying on the invisible pearl to distort light to achieve the effect of invisibility. He silently watched as this group of people arrived. Open the door. A shark monster guard at the front shouted out to the royal palace soldiers. Seeing the appearance of this guard captain, the palace soldiers immediately felt deep veneration. They didn't dare to stop him at all and immediately opened the palace gates to let the convoy in. Da-da-da. The carriage immediately drove in without hesitation. The other guards followed, as if this was a matter of course and they were already used to it. Could the owner of the carriage be the son of the Shark Demon Monarch or some other palace minister? Xia Ping secretly guessed. However, he couldn't be bothered to care who the owner of the carriage was. He felt that this was a great opportunity. It just so happened that when the palace gates opened, there was a momentary gap in the barrier. He could take advantage of this opportunity to follow the convoy and enter the palace. Swoosh! Xia Ping used the Kunping steps and controlled the airflow. He silently followed the group of people in. The surrounding shark monster guards didn't sense anything out of the ordinary. Or rather, they had been peaceful in their lair for too long. No one dared to barge into the Shark Demon Monarch's palace, so they had never thought that something like this would happen. Therefore, the guards were naturally a lot more lax. Right, where is this Shark Demon Monarch's treasure trove? Xia Ping appeared in the palace and strolled leisurely, as if this place was his home. He knew that there were no king-level cultivators in the palace, so he wasn't too worried about his safety. Even if he was discovered by the guards, he could easily escape. However, the area of the palace was too large. It was several times larger than the Forbidden City on Earth. For a moment, he was like a headless fly, wandering around aimlessly. However, he still couldn't find the treasure trove in the palace. The palaces he passed were either the servants' residences, the training grounds, or the royal kitchen. No, I can't continue wasting time here. I have to find a monster familiar with the palace to ask. Otherwise, I won't be able to find anything even after a few days. Xia Ping felt that he was unfamiliar with this place and needed to find a few tour guides to guide him. Therefore, he decided to personally knock out a few of the palace monsters and force them to be his tour guides. Therefore, he appeared in a remote place. Who is it? Immediately, two shark demons that happened to pass by noticed Xia Ping, and they immediately shouted and questioned him in a stern voice. They had never seen an unfamiliar demon like Xia Ping. Speak. Who are you? Why are you in the palace? A shark monster guard asked sternly. Me. Xia Ping was just about to subdue these two shark demons and interrogate them. However, unexpectedly, one of the shark monsters suddenly shouted, I know. You must be the princess guard. Why are you barging around in the palace? Don't you know that there are many forbidden areas in the palace that don't allow unauthorized people to enter? Otherwise, it's a capital offense. Even if you are the princess guard, you won't be able to escape death. The other shark monster also came to a realization. So you are the princess guard. No wonder you would appear in the palace. I was wondering why a strange monster would appear out of nowhere. So that's why. Xia Ping was speechless. He didn't say anything, but these two shark monsters mistook him as the princess guard. What kind of intelligence did they have? Did they not have the concept of an intruder? However, thinking about it carefully, this city had been peaceful for a long time. There hadn't been any intruders in the past 1,000 years. To them, invading the palace was something unimaginable. Therefore, these guards didn't have the concept of an intruder. They automatically thought that Xia Ping was one of them. After all, the palace was heavily guarded and there was a barrier protecting it. It was impossible for a stranger to enter. Chapter 897. White Jade Spiritual Elixir Pond. Xia Ping was stunned. He didn't know where this place was. He looked at the two shark demons. You don't know where this place is? This is a famous place in our imperial palace. It's where the Shark Demon King received the spirit vein from the bottom of the sea and hired an expert to build a spirit-gathering formation to gather the essence of heaven and earth. Finally, this peerless treasure land was formed. One of the shark demons revealed an envious expression. It's said that this pond is filled with extremely pure spiritual elixirs. If you soak in this pond to cultivate, you'll get twice the result with half the effort. Cultivating in this pond for a day is equivalent to cultivating for a year under normal circumstances. If it weren't for the princess's arrival and the king's order, not even the princes would be qualified to step into the White Jade Spiritual Elixir Pond. Spiritual elixir. Hearing this, Xia Ping's heart was moved. This was definitely a peerless treasure. He didn't expect that other than the celestial demon battlefield, there were other places that produced spiritual elixirs. However, after thinking about it carefully, the Endless Sea was the largest gathering place of treasures in the cloud world. There were all kinds of blessed lands. It was normal to have a treasure land that could produce spiritual elixirs. If he could plunder all the spiritual elixirs in this pond, he would definitely obtain great benefits. After all, he had used up a lot of the spiritual elixirs he obtained before. Now was the perfect time to replenish them. Where is this White Jade Spiritual Elixir Pond? Xia Ping blinked and asked curiously. Oh right, you're new here. It's normal that you don't know where the White Jade spiritual elixir pond is. How about this? We'll personally lead the way for you so that you won't wander around and end up in some forbidden land. You might even get us into trouble. One of the shark demons waved his hand and wanted to personally lead the way for Xiaoping. Brothers, you are all good demons. I'm really grateful. If there's a chance, I'll definitely repay you too. Xiaoping immediately felt that these two shark demons were good demons. They didn't need him to do it himself and even took the initiative to lead the way for him. Where else in this world could he find such guides? If they weren't good demons, then what were? You're too polite. As long as this brother can put in a few good words for us, then we'll be eternally grateful. A shark monster smiled. It also had its own schemes. It wanted to curry favor with this princess through Xiaoping and obtain benefits. Of course, of course. As long as I meet the princess, I will definitely mention your hard work and contributions in front of her. Xiaoping cupped his hands and directly made an empty promise. Hearing this, the two shark demons immediately felt as though Xiaoping was one of their own. There weren't many demons who would do this. By the way, brother, why do I feel like you're a human? If this wasn't an underwater city, humans wouldn't be able to reach here at all. I almost thought you were a human and killed you. Shouted the shark demon monarch. To be honest, my original form is that of a sea ape. I'm 70 to 80% similar to a human. After taking human form, I'm not much different from a human. When I travel outside, I'm often mistaken for a human by demons. I'm nearly killed for a human. It's really unspeakable. Xiaoping poured out his grievances. He expressed that he was a sea ape and had many inconveniences. So you're a sea ape. No wonder you look so similar to a human. The shark demon nodded and suddenly realized, coming to our underwater world, humans are indeed discriminated against. Especially a race like yours. You look so similar to a human. It's hard not to be discriminated against. But don't worry, brother, I won't discriminate against you. Although you look like a human, you're still a member of our sea demon race. We can't do without you. It patted its chest, expressing that it was equal to all demons. It wouldn't casually discriminate against demons that look like humans. Thank you for your concern, brother. But where is this White Jade spiritual elixir pond? Hurry up and bring me there. I'm afraid that if the princess gets anxious, she'll be punished. Xiaoping didn't want to continue chatting. He wanted to directly go to the White Jade spiritual elixir pond. You're right. Now isn't the time to chat. There'll be plenty of time in the future. Follow me. It's not far from here. We'll arrive very soon. The shark demon nodded. It felt that proper business was more important. Otherwise, if the boss blamed them, they wouldn't be able to bear the consequences and wouldn't be able to avoid punishment. 10 minutes later. Under the guidance of the shark demon, Xiaoping came to a luxurious palace. This palace was filled with dense energy. From time to time, the aura of the spiritual elixir floated out. It was shocking. Even if he didn't enter the palace, just staying outside and breathing in the aura of the spiritual elixir could speed up his cultivation and benefit him greatly. At this time, the palace was surrounded by guards. There was a sentry every 5 steps and a sentry every 10 steps. The security was very tight. There were even Grandmaster-level demons hiding inside. Even if a fly wanted to fly in, it would be impossible. Stop! Unauthorized people are not allowed to enter. Don't you know this is the official residence of the princess? What are you doing here? Immediately, an octopus demon shouted angrily, stopping Xiaoping and the 2 shark demons from entering. It's like this. One of the shark demons immediately said, previously, when we were patrolling the palace, we suddenly found the princess's guard who got lost. So, we brought this brother here. We didn't mean to trespass the princess residence. It pointed at Xia Ping next to it. The princess's guard? Are you serious? The octopus demon was very confused. It looked at Xia Ping and felt that he was very strange. Who are you? Why haven't I seen you before? It's normal. I'm new here. It's natural that you haven't seen me before. I guess we'll be very familiar with each other in the future. Xia Ping said casually, indicating that he was new. Bullshit. The octopus demon shouted angrily, I know all the guards around the princess. Even if you are new, you will report to me. There's no reason for me not to know you. Tell me the truth now. What are you trying to do by pretending to be the princess's guard? It said sternly, and its eyes were full of murderous intent. It stared at Xia Ping and didn't believe a word he said. What? The two shark demons suddenly felt that something was wrong. Could it be that this guy was not the princess's guard at all? Dong! As soon as he said that, Xia Ping knew that his identity had been exposed. He immediately made a move and used the 8 heavenly dragons' music. Roar! Immediately, there was a terrifying vibration in the void, like the roar of a heavenly dragon. With Xia Ping's body as the center, circles of sound waves spread out and condensed into a substance. It really was the roar of a heavenly dragon. At the same time, he also used the bewitching bell on him to produce a strange bewitching power. Bang! 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 Chapter 898. Enemy Attack. Seeing dozens of Murloc guards fall to the ground, the 5 or 6 Guru Realm monsters hiding in the dark immediately rushed out. They were shocked and angry as they rushed towards Xia Ping. Whoosh! 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 Immediately, the power of these Guru Realm monsters exploded like 5 or 6 tornadoes. They were extremely violent and seemed to explode the whole air, trying to tear Xia Ping into pieces. Quake! Xia Ping roared again. The soul-bewitching bell exploded with a terrible vibration power. It seemed that the air was vibrating thousands of times. In an instant, it bombarded the bodies of these Guru Realm fishmen. In an instant, their bodies were shaken dozens of times. Their blood and chi were tumbling, and even their bodies stopped moving for a moment. Dong! Taking advantage of this gap, Xia Ping slapped the body of these Guru Realm fishmen fiercely like a giant elephant slapping an ant, producing a terrible vibration power. With a plop, 5 or 6 Guru Realm fishmen were immediately slapped to the ground, creating a deep pit. Smoke and dust billowed. They were immediately knocked unconscious on the ground before they could even make a sound. This. The 2 shark demons were trembling all over. Everything had happened too fast. From the time the octopus monster spoke to Xia Ping, it had only been a few breaths of time. But during this time, the guards who were guarding the palace were all knocked unconscious on the ground, foaming at the mouth. It was estimated that they would not wake up in a short time. Bro, aren't you the princess's guard? Why did you attack these people? A shark demon stammered. Looking at Xia Ping, it had a vague feeling that something was wrong. It felt that something big had happened this time. They had actually sent this evil monster near the princess. If anything happened to the princess, it would be crippled even if it did not die. The main thing is that they need to be taught a lesson. As the princess's guard, my identity cannot be questioned. How dare they question my identity? Isn't this a slap to my face? If I don't teach them a lesson now, they won't know who the boss is. In the future, will I still be dignified in front of the princess? Xia Ping indicated that this was just a small lesson. But even so, isn't it too much to knock them all out? What if an enemy comes over? Will there be any big problems? The shark demon was a little confused and said subconsciously. Stupid. The shark monster on the side was exasperated at his failure to live up to his expectations. He angrily cursed, "Are you fucking stupid? Did water enter your head? Even at this time, you still believe that he is the Princess Imperial bodyguard? You're still asking if there's going to be a big problem? There's already an intruder in the palace. This in itself is a big problem, an unprecedented invasion. This guy clearly has bad intentions. He even knocked out the princess's people." It's easy to imagine what he wants to do. Hurry up and inform the captain to come over and capture the intruder. It was furious. Its companion was so stupid that it was almost fooled by this guy. Inform the captain. That's not very good, is it? The shark demon swallowed a mouthful of saliva and said nervously. It felt that informing the captain was not a good idea. How is it not good? Don't tell me you're in cahoots with this intruder, trying to kidnap and blackmail the princess? The other shark demon glared at his companion. Actually, I also feel that informing your captain is not a good idea. If this matter is blown up, I'm afraid there will be countless casualties. Blood will flow like a river. What do you think? Xia Ping looked at the shark demon with a smile. It was unknown when a long sword had appeared in his hand, but it was pressed against the shark demon's back, as if it could pierce through its heart in an instant. Fuck. The shark demon was scared to the point of pissing himself. No wonder his companion was stuttering and did not dare to inform the captain. It turned out that his little life was in the hands of this intruder. This. Don't kill me. He stuttered, not knowing what to say. Both his legs were trembling. Don't worry. Seeing that you've led the way for me, I won't kill you for now. But you can sleep for a while. With a thud, Xia Ping moved and slapped the heads of the two shark demons. With a plop, they all fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth. They would not be able to wake up for a while. Whoosh! Xia Ping moved all the unconscious guards to the side and walked straight into the palace. Along the way, he encountered some guards, but they were all easily knocked out by him. He basically did not encounter any obstacles along the way. This is the White Jade Spiritual Fluid Pool. A few minutes later, Xia Ping passed through the palace and arrived at the deepest part of the palace. He saw a huge pool made of white jade in front of him. The surroundings were filled with white mist, almost covering the entire pool. The surrounding energy was extremely abundant. It seemed to be of a higher grade than the spiritual fluid in the celestial demon battlefield. It contained a unique energy fluctuation. Xia Ping felt his earth energy increase a little with a slight breath. The pool was also very large. It was the size of 10 swimming pools, and it was all filled with spiritual fluid. Because there was too much spiritual fluid and it was too dense, it seemed to have produced all kinds of phenomena. Clouds and mist lingered above the pool, as if there were dozens of giant dragons soaring. The scene was shocking. Is this the spiritual fluid formed by the convergence of the spiritual veins in the sea? It seems to be of a very high grade, and the energy is very pure. Xia Ping immediately felt very satisfied. As expected of a treasured land used by kings. It was extraordinary. If he could empty this pool of spiritual fluid, he would be completely rich. Who is it? Suddenly, a clear and melodious voice came from the depths of the pool. It was especially ethereal, as if a sea demon was bewitching a passing sailor. If one listened carefully, one's soul would sink into it. Splash! This was the sound of the spiritual fluid stirring in the depths of the pool. A graceful figure walked out of the pool. She walked out of the white mist and appeared directly in front of Xia Ping. What? It's a mermaid? Xia Ping's pupils constricted. He saw an excessively beautiful mermaid in the pool. Her black hair cascaded down like a waterfall. Such beauty was suffocating. It was as if even the stars in the sky had lost their light. What made him spurt blood the most was that this mermaid was not wearing any clothes. Her breasts were exposed, as if she had broken free from gravity. Although the majority of her body was covered by her waterfall-like hair, one could still feel the astonishing scale. Her skin was as smooth as silk and as smooth as cream. If she were in human society, she would definitely be a demoness who could bring disaster to a country and bring disaster to the people. What calmed Xia Ping down a little was that her lower body was a fish tail. It flickered with golden scales, appearing gorgeous and noble. It swayed gently in the pool. Chapter 899. You are a human. The mermaid stared at Xia Ping as if she had seen through his identity. This is a deep-sea city. How did you get in? Where are my guards? She had many questions. She had been peacefully cultivating in the pool, but she didn't expect to hear a commotion outside. She wanted to go out and take a look, but she immediately found a human invader. You are the legendary princess. Xia Ping didn't answer the mermaid's question. He rubbed his chin, looking at the mermaid with interest. This was clearly the territory of the shark monster clan, but a mermaid had actually appeared here. Moreover, she was treated as an honored guest, able to freely use the shark monster king's paradise. From this, one could imagine just how extraordinary her status was. That's right. This princess is the mermaid princess, the daughter of the mermaid king, Yuchichi. Human commoner, what are you doing here? Do you want to harm this princess? The mermaid's tone was high and mighty, with a natural sense of nobility. Mermaid king. A cold light flashed in Xia Ping's eyes. He had read a lot of information about the giant corporation and knew that there were many demon kings in the endless sea. However, invincible demon kings were few and far between. And this mermaid king was an invincible demon king that ruled over the endless sea. It was said that it had at least 1,000 demon kings under its command. It was the true king of the sea, and its power was boundless. Compared to it, the shark demon king wasn't even fit to carry its shoes. It could be said that the mermaid race was one of the true super races in the endless sea. It was an absolute giant. As the daughter of the mermaid king, her status was naturally incomparably noble. It was no wonder that the shark demon king was so respectful to this mermaid, treating her like his own mother. After all, offending the mermaid king meant that there was a danger of extinction. The entire race would be eradicated. Don't worry, I won't harm you. After all, one of my purposes in coming to this deep-sea city is to catch a mermaid to warm my bed. In the future, you will be my child's mother. Why would I harm you? Xia Ping said casually, expressing that he had no ill intentions. His goal was very simple. He just wanted to catch a mermaid to bring home. Beast! Yuchichi was so angry that her face was flushed red, and she glared at Xia Ping furiously. Xia Ping wanted to drag her back home to warm her bed, and he even wanted her to bear children for this shameless human. And he said that she wouldn't do anything to harm him. This shameless human was obviously lying through his teeth. He even wanted to capture him. If this wasn't disadvantageous, then what was? How could he shamelessly say that his purpose was simple? If he did such a thing, then his purpose would not be simple. She had never seen such a brazen and shameless human. Beasts? That's good. It said that primitive humans were beasts and lived in caves. Whichever girl you like, just knock her out with a wooden stick and drag her back to the cave to raise your children. Simple, clear, convenient, and quick. Xia Ping said, it's different in the modern world. Girls are all proud and arrogant. They want cars and houses. Ordinary men can't afford them at all, resulting in a lot of bachelors. He was very emotional. So you came to the deep-sea world. You plan to knock out any mermaid you like and take her away to settle your marriage? Yuchichi heard the hidden meaning in Xia Ping's words, and her beautiful face revealed a trace of killing intent. As expected of the child's mother. You're really smart and very compatible with me. Xia Ping nodded. Shameless human commoner. Yuchichi was half dead with anger. We mermaids are not born to be knocked out and taken away by you. I'll beat you half to death, commoner. Boom! As soon as she finished speaking, the whole pool was swept up by a shocking storm. Yuchichi was like the queen of the sea, manipulating the water and attacking Xiaoping. Whoosh! 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 In the blink of an eye, dozens of water dragons condensed into water appeared in midair. They had distinct scales and terrifying claws. They roared in the void and rushed towards Xiaoping. Yuchichi's strength was also not simple. She was at the seventh heaven of the Grandmaster realm. Her attacks were like raging waves, and ordinary Grandmasters were definitely no match for her. You have some skills. Xiaoping flew up, and with a palm strike in the void, he operated the North Protective Art. Immediately, a black Gang Chi barrier appeared in front of him, slowly rotating like a black hole, devouring everything. Boom! The water blasted on the barrier and was instantly devoured completely. All the force turned into invisible and transmitted to the ground. He was also unharmed. What? Yuchichi was shocked. She did not expect that this human would be unscathed after her full blow. Seeing that Xiaoping was still taking advantage of this opportunity to attack, she panicked. With a boom, her huge tail fanned over, stirring up the water and producing a terrifying force, at least hundreds of tons, enough to crush a small mountain. Kunpeng step. Xiaoping's figure flickered, and he instantly dodged this astonishing blow. He came behind Yuchichi and gently patted her smooth back with his palm. With a boom, an extremely feminine force was transmitted to her body, and in an instant, she was shaken to the point of numbness, and her whole body fell to the ground powerlessly. At this moment, her body also left the pool and came to the land. Xiaoping furrowed his brows. The moment Yuchichi left the water, her body had undergone an earth-shattering transformation. Her originally beautiful fishtail was now undergoing a metamorphosis. Chapter 900. Yuchichi was embarrassed and furious, but if this were to continue, she would definitely be taken advantage of by this human. She could only struggle up and put on all the clothes. Remember, when you become the mother of your child in the future, you have to be more dignified. Don't dress up all the time, and don't wear clothes that can show off your figure. In any case, it's best if you dress like you are flat. Xiaoping said casually, of course, it's not that you can't wear such clothes. You can wear them at home or in the bedroom, but you can only wear them for me to see. He reminded Yuchichi of her future conduct. Scram! Yuchichi wanted nothing more than to bite this human to death. He wanted her to be the mother of his child. Dream on. She was the daughter of the Mermaid King, the princess of the Mermaid Kingdom, and there were geniuses courting her all over the boundless sea. This commoner human wanted to marry her. Dream on. It was like a toad lusting after a swan's flesh. I won't marry you. You should give up on this idea. Yuchichi was incomparably indignant, as though she had been kidnapped by a bully. Whether you will marry me or not is not up to you, but to me, Xiaoping said with a smile. Even if I can't obtain your heart, I will obtain your body. Shameless. Yuchichi had never thought that a human could become such a beast. How was he any different from those bullies and villains? How could he say such shameless words? Did he have no shame? She reached out and wanted to slap Xiaoping, wanting to teach this human a lesson. Pack! But Xiaoping raised his hand and blocked the slap. He then pulled her into his embrace. You have quite a bad temper. I guess I'll have to teach you a lesson in the future. Pervert commoner. Yuchichi gritted her teeth, wanting to bite off a piece of this human's flesh. Your Highness, are you all right? With a swoosh, the sound of dozens of people flying through the air could be heard from outside. Following that, dozens of demon masters flew in, arriving before Xia Ping and Yuqiqi in an instant. They had heard the sounds of fighting and rushed over in fear of the princess. "Your Highness." These monster grandmasters were immediately shocked. They saw a shocking scene. The high and noble princess was actually lying in the arms of a strange man. Her pretty face was flushed, and she looked very pitiful. Immediately, they felt as if they had seen something that they shouldn't have seen, as if they had learned a secret that they shouldn't have known, and that they might be silenced by the princess. After all, if this rumor spread out, it would shake the entire endless sea. Who didn't know that this princess was the Mermaid King's most beloved daughter? She was called the Pearl of the Endless Sea, and many descendants of the Monster King wanted to marry her. If someone found out that she was having a rendezvous with a strange man and that she had already pledged to marry him, all the descendants of the Monster Kings in the Endless Sea would go crazy. They would want to kill that man and cut him into pieces. You came just in time. Capture this intruder, human. When Yuqiqi saw the arrival of these shark demon grandmasters, she was overjoyed. She finally had helpers. She could capture this human later and torture him viciously. Invaders? These shark demon grandmasters finally remembered that along the way, they had seen the princess guards lying unconscious on the ground. It was not hard to imagine what had happened. Now, a strange human had appeared. Even if they used their knees to think, they could tell that this human had come to the princess' side with bad intentions. He might even be here to kidnap her for ransom. Don't move. If anyone dares to move, I'll kill this mermaid princess, Xia Ping said lazily as he looked at the shark demon grandmasters with a dangerous gaze. What? The shark demon grandmasters tensed up. They had wanted to immediately attack and kill this human, but now that the princess was in his hands, they didn't dare to act rashly. This was the daughter of the Mermaid King, and she had a noble status. Even a single strand of her hair was worth countless times more than theirs. If they made a mistake and caused the mermaid princess to suffer any harm, it would not be a pity even if they died 10,000 times. In the worst-case scenario, they might incur the wrath of the Mermaid King, and their entire race would be annihilated. This was not something that had never happened before. The Mermaid King's reputation was not just for show, but for slaughter. The number of marine races that had been destroyed by his hands was simply innumerable, which was why he had become an invincible overlord. Thousands of monster kings had willingly submitted to him. Human, don't act rashly. This is the Mermaid King's daughter. She has a noble status, and not a single hair on her head can be lost. Even if you are a human, if you infuriate the Sea King, you will not be able to bear the consequences. Think carefully about the consequences of infuriating an invincible king. Even a human would not be able to bear such a price. Many of the shark demon grandmasters were threatening him, hoping that Xia Ping would not act rashly. Otherwise, both sides would suffer heavy losses, and the Mermaid King would wipe them out. They were extremely nervous, like ants on a hot pan. They were afraid that the mermaid princess would be harmed, and that the Mermaid King would blame them, resulting in the shark demon clan suffering heavy losses. This kind of mood was like a princess of a kingdom coming to a small city. If the princess was harmed, then the city lord and many officials of the city would definitely be punished by the emperor. There was even a possibility that their entire clan would be wiped out. Seeing these insufferably arrogant grandmasters so timid, not daring to act rashly, Xia Ping felt very emotional. This was the so-called accompanying a king was like accompanying a tiger. In front of someone who held the power of life and death, anyone would tremble in fear, not daring to act impudently. But this way, these grandmasters would not dare to act, which would be very beneficial to him. Xia Ping's eyes turned, and he thought of many ideas. Fuck, isn't this brat Xia Ping of the human race? How did he come to this place? As he spoke, one of the shark demon grandmasters suddenly cried out. He looked at Xia Ping in horror. Clearly, he recognized Xia Ping. Fuck, it really is Xia Ping of the human race. I would recognize him even if he turned to ashes. Wasn't he tyrannical on Giant Island, killing many of my Shark Demon Clan's grandmasters? His arrogance has no bounds. Why would he appear in this place? Giant Island is thousands of miles away from where we are. How did he arrive so quickly? Many of the Shark Demon grandmasters cried out in alarm, staring at Xia Ping's appearance. I'm already so famous that even the monsters of the deep sea world recognize me? Xia Ping blinked his eyes. He knew that he was famous in the human world, famous in Myriad Demon Mountain, but not many monsters of the deep sea should know of him. We would recognize you even if you turned to ashes. You killed many of my Shark Demon Clan's grandmasters, and have long since become a great enemy of my clan. Right now, the Shark Demon King has already issued a wanted order to all the major clans. As long as they can kill you, they will be rewarded handsomely. Who doesn't know you now? If the Cloud Realm had a list of the top 10 evildoers, this human would undoubtedly be on it. Human Xia Ping, why have you come to my Shark Demon Clan city? Now that they knew that this was the famous super calamity of the human race, many shark monster grandmasters immediately became vigilant. This was a super calamity that could walk. Every time it appeared, it would cause a storm of blood and death. It could even be called a star of calamity. For such a calamity to suddenly sneak into their shark monster race's city, even the Shark Monster King didn't know about it. They couldn't imagine what this human was planning to do. Nothing much. I just want to return the favor. Xia Ping said carelessly. Return the favor? Many of the Grandmaster demons looked at Xia Ping in confusion. They did not understand what he meant. Didn't you want to visit my giant island? Thus, I wanted to return the favor and visit your Shark Demon Clan city as a guest. While I was at it, I wanted to set up an ambush with a few dozen or even 100 nuclear warheads, blowing up your entire city and completely burying it. Don't you think this plan is interesting? Is it fun? Xia Ping smiled as he looked at this group of shark monster grandmasters. Fun my ass. Human Xia Ping, how dare you? Hearing this, a shark monster grandmaster's hair stood on end. A chill rose from the soles of his feet to the top of his head. His entire body trembled as he looked at Xia Ping in fear. He could not imagine what would happen to his family, friends, and descendants if Xia Ping really succeeded and detonated hundreds of nuclear warheads in his city. Without a doubt, all of them would die. Not a single one would be left alive. Many of the shark monster grandmasters' eyes were bloodshot. Their bodies were trembling as they stared at Xia Ping. It seemed that if Xia Ping dared to act recklessly, they would immediately kill him. They absolutely could not allow this human to detonate the nuclear warheads. What a vicious plan. Yu Chi was also shocked. If Xia Ping really succeeded, the entire Shark Demon Clan would probably be erased from history, even if there was a huge army outside. But if the majority of the Shark Demon Clan died, it would be no different from being wiped out. Previously, she had heard from various sources that this human Xia Ping was not simple. But now that she saw it for herself, she realized just how terrifying this human was. He did not make a move, but once he did, it would be fatal. Why wouldn't I dare? Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back, his tone indifferent. Hearing this, many of the shark monster grandmasters felt suffocated. That's right, there was nothing this human didn't dare to do. They also knew of the countless things Xia Ping had done. He dared to kill monster kings, and he dared to auction off the descendants of monster kings in public. There was nothing in this world that he didn't dare to do. Although the Shark Demon Clan was very strong, they did not think that they were stronger than the human race or the Myriad Monster Mountain. He dared to offend the Myriad Monster Mountain, so what was a mere Shark Demon Clan to him? What exactly do you want? A shark monster grandmaster bitterly looked at Xia Ping, his entire body trembling. He knew that Xia Ping didn't need to speak of this matter. He could have blown up the entire city and annihilated all of them before speaking of this matter. But the other party just had to say it so openly. This meant that he still had some leeway. Very simple. Treasures. Xia Ping was very direct. I want all the treasures in the Shark Demon King's royal palace. Give them all to me, and I can spare your little lives. I won't detonate the nuclear warheads. He stated his goal. Impossible. A shark monster grandmaster screamed. Do you know what the royal palace's treasures mean? These are the treasures that my shark demon clan has accumulated for many years. You want to take them all with just a few words? You are simply dreaming. He immediately refused. He felt that this human was completely crazy. He wanted to take away the Shark Demon clan's treasures with just a few words. If this wasn't crazy, then what was? Then do you want to die? Xia Ping glanced at them. Instantly, many of the shark monster grandmasters present felt suffocated. They didn't know what to say. Xia Ping's words had completely struck their weak spot. If the nuclear warheads are detonated, you will die with them. A shark monster grandmaster reminded him of this point. Don't worry. Since I can do such a thing, I naturally have a way to survive. Xia Ping waved his hand. Even if I can't survive, dying together with so many shark monsters is still a good deal. Who cares about your life or death? Many of the shark monster grandmasters were fuming. They gritted their teeth. They had no choice but to admit that Xia Ping's threat was real. Using all the shark monsters in the city to fight Xia Ping wasn't worth it. In this city, there were their relatives, friends, and descendants. They didn't dare to fight against this human. He had nothing to lose. How could they fight against him? Chapter 902. Alright, we'll agree. After weighing the pros and cons, the Shark Demon Grandmasters all agreed to Xia Ping's request. There was no other way. After all, the lives of all the monsters in the city were under Xia Ping's control. If they really angered this human, all the demons living in this city would die, including many of their loved ones. They would all be wiped out. Even though they were unwilling, they didn't dare to joke around with the lives of all the monsters in the city. Very good. A wise man submits to circumstances. Xia Ping praised. First, pack up all the spirit liquid here for me, then pack it up and take it away. He commanded the Shark Demon Grandmasters, indicating that he wanted to sweep up all the spirit liquid in the pool. What? Even though the Shark Demon Grandmasters knew that Xia Ping would demand an exorbitant price, they didn't expect this brat to ask for all the spirit liquid in the pool and even want them to pack it up and take it away. Are you fucking crazy? It's one thing for you to steal our palace's treasures, but you want us to pack it up and take it away. What kind of logic is that? A Shark Demon Grandmaster was so angry that he almost vomited blood. He had never seen such an arrogant bandit. Not only did he come to their home to eat and drink, but he also wanted them to personally take away their treasures. Just how sullen were they to do such a thing? That's right, we won't do it ourselves. If you want to take it, then take it yourself. You want us to pack it up for you? Dream on. The several shark monster grandmasters clenched their jaws, their teeth itching with hatred. They expressed that they wouldn't help at all. Is that so? If you don't want to, then forget it. I'll just detonate the nuclear bomb and everyone will die together. What do you think? Xia Ping said with a smile. He didn't seem angry at all. Bastard! What kind of bullshit idea was this? Threatening the monsters for no reason. The Shark Demon Grandmasters wanted nothing more than to surround this brat and beat him to a pulp. However, the mermaid princess was still in the hands of this human, so they had to hold back. There was no other way. Their weakness was in the hands of this damned human, so they could only obey. After all, they couldn't let all the monsters in the city die with them. Some of the shark demon grandmasters left and immediately ordered a large number of soldiers to come in. At the same time, they brought buckets of water and poured the spirit liquid into the buckets. Half an hour later, the entire pool of spiritual liquid was completely emptied. There were a total of 300 buckets of spiritual liquid on the field. This was the spiritual liquid that the Shark Monster clan had accumulated for countless years. But now, it had been emptied by this kid. There wasn't even a drop of spiritual liquid left in the entire pool. Who knew how many years it would take to restore it to its current state? The hearts of these shark monsters were dripping blood. Yuchichi was speechless. To think that such a huge pool would be emptied out by this shameless human. It was as though he had never seen spirit essence before in his entire life, leaving not even a single drop behind. This was just like a robber plucking the feathers off a goose. She despised commoners like them. They had never seen anything good in their lives. "How are you going to take these things away?" asked a shark monster grandmaster. After all, there were a total of 300 buckets of spiritual liquid here. No matter how powerful a person was, it would be considered pretty good if they could take a dozen or so buckets. It was simply impossible for a single person to take away 300 buckets. Xia Ping rubbed his chin. "None of your business. I naturally have a way. But since you guys are so interested, why don't you send some monsters to follow me back to the giant island and help me transport the spiritual liquid?" He raised his suggestion. Scram! Many of the shark monster grandmasters wished they could grab their shoes and slap this shameless human's face. He had snatched away their treasures, and he still wanted them to help escort him to his home. He was simply crazy. Did he think this was some kind of one-stop service? Why didn't this bitch just go and die? Their faces were very black, and they didn't say anything. All of them lowered their heads, as though no one had raised that question at all. Xia Ping didn't mind. He continued to ask to see if there were any other places in the royal palace that contained a large number of treasures. At the start, they were still hemming and hawing, looking left and right, as though they didn't want to say anything. But under Xia Ping's coercion, they had no choice but to confess. There was a spiritual herb garden in the royal palace, and a large number of spiritual herbs were planted there. They had been transplanted from various parts of the endless sea by the shark monster monarch, and they were extremely precious. Normally, that was a forbidden area. No one dared to enter, or they would be executed. After all, the things in that spiritual herb garden were too precious. Every stalk of spiritual herb was extremely valuable, and they had been planted by the shark monster monarch for his own cultivation breakthrough. No one was allowed to touch them. When Xia Ping heard this, his eyes instantly lit up. Wasn't this kind of place perfect for him to plunder? Without another word, he immediately ordered the group of shark monsters to lead the way. The group of shark monsters had no choice but to obey his orders. 10 minutes later, they arrived at the spiritual herb garden. Halt! What are you guys doing in such a grandiose manner in the spiritual herb garden? Don't you know that this is a forbidden area of the royal palace? Any monster that dares to trespass will be executed on the spot. If it's serious, even 9 generations of the monster monarch will be executed. Immediately, the many shark demon guards guarding the spiritual medicinal garden all shouted, wanting to stop Xia Ping and the others from entering the spiritual medicinal garden and stop their evil thoughts. What's going on? Why is there a human here? What are you trying to do by bringing a human here? Why aren't you immediately executing him? Some of the shark monster guards also saw Xia Ping. They were immediately shocked by his identity and shouted, "Fight!" Xia Ping's response was very simple. Bang bang bang. Immediately, the dozen or so shark monster grandmasters behind him immediately attacked. Like wolves and tigers, they attacked like lightning, instantly crippling the shark monster guards. They fell to the ground and screamed miserably. The group of shark monster guards were completely dumbfounded. They didn't know what had happened. These loyal and devoted royal palace guards had actually attacked them, and in such a vicious manner. If this was a joke, then this joke had gone too far. You're all crazy. You're actually helping a human. Don't you know that this is an extremely serious act of betrayal? If the king finds out, all of you will die. All of you will die. Traitors. You're all sluts. You're all traitors. You'll die a horrible death. You actually betrayed the shark monster clan and became monster traitors. You'll definitely die a horrible death. The group of spiritual herb garden guards shouted out. They all thought that this group of shark monster grandmasters had betrayed them. They had actually obeyed the orders of a human to attack them. After all, if they hadn't betrayed the royal palace, why would they attack the guards and even dare to invade the spiritual herb garden? These shark monster grandmasters were also extremely aggrieved. If they could, they would have long since killed Xia Ping. But now, they were holding back. If they didn't listen to this human's orders, all the monsters would die. There was nothing they could do about it. Shut them up. Xia Ping was like a big shot behind the scenes. With just a single order, he had mobilized countless shark monster guards to act as thugs. Dong dong dong. Chapter 903. As soon as he entered the medicine garden, Xia Ping immediately smelled a fragrant aroma. The rich scent of spirit medicine assaulted his senses, making him feel energized. It was as if every cell in his body was trembling. He felt that his astral energy had been greatly replenished, as if he was about to open an acupoint. From this, one could imagine how precious the spirit medicines in this medicine garden were. Each one was worth a fortune. What tree is this? Xia Ping pointed at the largest tree in the medicine garden. It was silver in color and shone with a silver radiance. It was bathed in the sunlight and looked extraordinary. There were many silver fruits on the tree. They flowed with light and emitted a rich fragrance. This is a silver fruit tree, a wondrous tree born in the deep sea world. It blooms every 10 years, bears fruit every 10 years, and matures every 10 years. It takes a full 30 years to produce a spirit fruit. A shark monster grandmaster looked at the tree with envy and explained, it can be said that this spirit fruit has extraordinary medicinal power. Eating one is equivalent to a grandmaster cultivating in seclusion for 5 years. Even kings often eat these spirit fruits to increase their magic power. It indicated that this was a spirit fruit only shark monster kings had the qualifications to eat. Normally, subordinates like them would only be rewarded with one if they made great contributions. So amazing. Dig it up and take it all away. Xia Ping waved his hand and gave the order to immediately dig up the entire silver fruit tree. He planned on taking it back and planting it himself. What? The crowd of shark monster grandmasters was left flabbergasted. They had completely underestimated this shameless human's greed. They originally thought that he only wanted to pick all the fruits, but this bastard actually wanted to take away the entire tree, plucking all the feathers from it. This was basically digging up their roots. Where did these radishes come from? Xia Ping also saw that not far away, there were spirit medicines that looked like radishes growing on the black soil. They were purple in color, and one could vaguely see a blood-colored flood dragon. Every root was filled with dense energy, and their blood energy was very vigorous. They were like small suns that illuminated the surroundings. This isn't a carrot. It's a purple blood ginseng. A shark monster grandmaster's mouth twitched. It absorbs the spirit soil of heaven and earth, as well as the flesh and blood essence of large amounts of deep-sea monsters. This is a precious spirit medicine that can only grow. It contains the essence of pure yang, making it exuberant. Once consumed, cultivators can prolong their lifespan, temper their physique, and even alter their physique to a certain extent. If an ordinary person were to consume it, they would probably be able to extend their lifespan by 100 years. The eyes of many shark monsters turned green. This kind of purple blood ginseng was really too precious. Not only could it temper one's physique and increase one's cultivation, it could even extend one's lifespan. If it was put up for auction, it was unknown how many people would go crazy. In fact, many dignitaries of the Endless Sea had asked the Shark Demon King to buy the purple blood ginseng, but they were all rejected by the Shark Demon King. Such a good thing could only be enjoyed by himself. This was something that money couldn't buy. Good stuff, I've pulled them all out. Xia Ping was drooling. This purple blood ginseng could not only be used by himself, but it could also be used by his parents to prolong their lives. If he took it out to auction, it would probably make those rich people go crazy. Of course, he wouldn't take such a good thing out to auction. That's right, the black soil on the ground should also be spiritual soil. It's very rare. Take it with you and dig 3 feet into the ground. Xia Ping stared at the spiritual soil on the ground. Not only did he want to dig up the purple blood ginseng, but he also wanted to take away the spiritual soil that it grew on. After all, if he needed to grow these purple blood ginseng, this spiritual soil was indispensable. What? Many shark monster grandmasters' faces turned green. It was fine if the purple blood ginseng was taken away, but this bastard didn't even let go of the soil. He even planned to dig 3 feet into the ground. What did this bastard think this place was? Even if it was his own home, he couldn't do this. They simply wanted to beat this human half to death. Yes, it's that golden coral. Hurry up and take it. Pack it up. And don't let go of that spirit flower. Take it all away. Don't leave a single one behind. Understand? Quick, be quick. Did you not eat? Before, you were full of energy, but now you're so weak. You've grown up for nothing. Can you still be considered an elite of the shark monster race? No wonder the Shark Monster King didn't bring you out to fight and instead left you at home. Reflect on the reason and summarize a few lessons. Understand? Xia Ping directed the group of shark monsters to take away all the good things in the herb garden. Everywhere they went, not a single blade of grass grew. In short, regardless of the medicinal strength, everything was taken away. Not a single blade of grass was left behind. To be casually commanded by a human, pointed at, and even scolded like a lord supervising his serfs, these shark monsters were extremely sullen. They almost couldn't control the anger in their hearts. Moreover, Xia Ping's words had completely poked at their weak spot. He had taken away so many shark monster elites, but left them behind. It was impossible for them not to have any thoughts. Why could this group of bastards go out and establish themselves, while they could only stay at home and watch over the house? Could it be that the Shark Monster King thought that they were all defective goods and didn't want to bring them out to embarrass himself? Many monsters in the city had similar gossips. Wait, what are those things? Why haven't they been taken away? Xia Ping's eyes were very sharp. He immediately pointed at the green grass growing on the ground. These are all grass. They are useless. A shark monster replied. Xia Ping immediately scolded, "Do you think grass is grass? Can't you see that they are emitting spirit chi waves? They are definitely peerless spirit herbs. Take them away immediately. If there are any less, I'll kick your balls." Bullshit spirit chi waves. The group of shark monsters went crazy. They were clearly ordinary grass, but they were tainted with the aura of the surrounding precious spirit herbs and the energy of the spirit soil. Only then would they emit some spirit chi. Usually, the monsters in the herb garden would pluck and burn these grasses. But this kid thought that they were peerless spirit herbs and wanted to take them all away. He didn't intend to leave a single one behind. This human was simply insatiably greedy. Pauper. Yuchichi, who was watching from the side, was dumbfounded. This human was simply a robber. The autumn wind swept away the fallen leaves. He didn't intend to let anything of value go. He even wanted to uproot the grass that had a bit of spirit chi. He even wanted to plunder all the spirit soil on the ground. My God, just how poor was he to be so deranged? She had never seen a human like this in her life. No, not even a monster like this. If this shameless human came to the mermaid kingdom, her own country would be in danger. She definitely couldn't let such a shameless human enter the mermaid kingdom. Otherwise, it would be a huge disaster. It would be a natural disaster comparable to a sea storm, tsunami, or earthquake of over 10 magnitude. Chapter 904. An hour later, the entire herb garden had basically been emptied by Xia Ping. Bags of all sizes were in a mess. Even a blade of grass had been plucked clean. There was not a single blade of grass left. There was not even a single plant in the herb garden, much less spirit herbs. Even the spirit soil on the ground had been dug up and stuffed into the sacks. The mouths of many shark demon grandmasters twitched in despair. If the shark demon king came back and saw that his home had been emptied, he would definitely go mad with anger. Moreover, they were accomplices, quickly helping to pack the bags. It was too much of a scam. Oh right, other than the herb garden, where is your family's treasure trove? Where is it? I would like to take a look and broaden my horizons. Xia Ping said casually, expressing that he had no ill intentions. Broaden my ass. The group of shark demons gritted their teeth. Not only did this bandit want to take the entire herb garden away, but he also wanted to rob the royal palace's treasure trove. He wanted to plunder everything in one go. Our shark demon race is very poor. We spent all our resources to nurture this herb garden, so we are so poor that even a fly can't be bothered to visit, much less a treasure trove. We don't have any spare money to do such things. A shark demon bared his teeth, expressing that he did not have a treasure trove here. Dong! Xia Ping instantly struck, sending the shark demon flying with a slap. He beat it several times until it looked like a pig's head. He coughed out blood and said, "What did you say?" The wind has been quite strong recently, so I can't hear you clearly. Try saying it again. His eyes were filled with threat, as though he would immediately send the shark demon to the next world if it dared to lie again. Immediately, the shark demon was so frightened that he peed his pants. He trembled all over and no longer dared to lie. There is a treasure trove. It's in the shark demon king's bedroom. He doesn't feel at ease placing the treasures elsewhere, so he hides them in his bedroom to ensure absolute safety. No demons can enter. He did not dare to hide anything and said everything he knew. That's right. Lead the way. Let's take a look. Xia Ping was very satisfied. These demons were really itching for a beating. If he did not give them a good beating, they would not know what it meant to be honest. Whoosh! More than 10 minutes later, they arrived at the Shark Demon King's bedroom. It was a huge palace, dazzling with gold and jade carvings. It was extremely luxurious, and any precious materials were used. The entire palace was glittering with golden light and looked very luxurious. An old shark demon grandmaster knew the way. He led Xia Ping in and immediately arrived at the shark demon monarch's bedroom. Not bad. As expected of the Monster King's residence. How extravagant. What's with this bed? What a big piece of jade. When Xia Ping entered the bedroom, he was immediately shocked by the furniture inside. It was a large piece of blue jade. He reached out to touch it and felt a trace of coolness. This coolness seeped into his body and fused with his stellar energy. It actually had the effect of increasing his cultivation. This refreshing smell could even calm one's mind and remove one's inner demons. He immediately knew that this was no ordinary object. This is the king's bed, made from deep-sea cold jade. It is a peerless precious jade, and if a cultivator were to sleep on it, over time, it would subtly influence them, even improving their aptitude and increasing their soul strength. This is a peerless treasure. A shark monster grandmaster introduced. What about these chairs and tables? What are they made of? Xia Ping looked at the furniture around him and discovered that all the wooden furniture emitted a fragrant smell, causing the entire room to be mesmerized. It was like Buddhist sandalwood or Taoist incense, causing one to unknowingly feel the purification of one's soul. These are crabapple trees. Each one is worth thousands of gold. They are the roots of a magical tree born in the deep sea. They have the effect of calming one's mind and assisting in cultivation. A shark monster grandmaster indicated that these furniture were not ordinary. It was very difficult to find them in the outside world, and only monster kings had the qualifications to possess them. Others would be courting death if they wanted to possess them. Corruption, this is too corruption. Hearing this, Xia Ping lamented, it's precisely because the shark demon monarch is extremely extravagant and enjoys himself that his cultivation has stagnated. He has never been able to advance to the invincible king realm. It's truly a pity. How about this, I'll reluctantly help him. I'll move away all these things that corrode one's mind and sever the connection to the outside world. This will allow him to cultivate in peace and work hard, striving to advance to the invincible king realm as soon as possible. As the saying goes, only by working one's muscles and bones and starving one's skin can one achieve what others cannot. I'm doing this to help the shark demon monarch. I hope that the shark demon monarch won't be too grateful to me after learning of this and gift me a few trillion federal dollars in the future. He stood with his hands behind his back, revealing a compassionate look. Grateful my ass. Many shark monster grandmasters wished they could slap this shameless human to death. He had clearly moved away all of the shark demon monarch's treasures and looted everything from his home, yet he still said that he was doing this to help the shark demon monarch. They had never seen such a shameless person. He was simply shameless. He was even bragging that the shark demon monarch would be grateful to him in the future. After the shark demon monarch found out about this, he would probably chase him down several streets. He would not rest until he killed him. Oh right, where's the treasury? Where's the treasury? Why don't you bring it out for me to see? Xia Ping shouted. He was looking forward to it. Just the bedroom alone had such amazing treasures. If it was in the treasury, wouldn't it be heaven-defying? It's here, it's finally here. Many shark monsters wailed. They knew that they couldn't avoid it. After all, they had brought this vicious and insatiable human to this place. They had no way out. Whoosh! Immediately, a shark monster grandmaster walked out. It gently pressed a button on a wall next to the dormitory. Immediately, the wall cracked open, and a hole appeared. It was a huge storage space. When this hole appeared, dazzling golden light appeared. Countless treasures appeared in front of Xia Ping and the others. It was so bright that it almost blinded their titanium alloy eyes. Large amounts of gold, silver, platinum, diamonds, necklaces, deep-sea jade, and other treasures were placed in this space as if they were free. They filled up several large rooms. In addition, there were many precious deep-sea materials, elixirs, and other things. All of them were placed in this treasure space. It could be said that the shark demon monarch's life savings were all placed in this place. He's really rich. Xia Ping rubbed his chin. He did a rough calculation. Just the treasures in this treasury were worth 7 to 8 trillion Federation dollars. How could ordinary monarchs be as rich as the shark demon monarch? He could only say that he was indeed a deep-sea tycoon. He was ridiculously rich. However, with this money, he would have the capital to modify the moon god. Chapter 905. An hour later, all the treasures in the treasury had been packed into wooden boxes, which were laid out on the ground. They could fit 2 to 3 houses inside. In a human kingdom, this was a fortune that could rival a country, and countless people were green with envy. The shark demon grandmasters were also green with envy. All the treasures of their shark demon race had been snatched away by this shameless human, and they hated him to death. However, none of them dared to say anything. They only hoped to send this god of plague away as soon as possible so that they could find all the nuclear bombs hidden in the city. How do you plan to move so many things away? Yuchichi looked speechlessly at the densely packed boxes on the ground. There were so many bags that even a few houses couldn't fit them all. And Xia Ping was just one person, so there was no way he could carry so many things away. The shark demons were also gloating. They had expected this, which was why they helped out intentionally. After all, there was no way this shameless human could take so many things away. In the end, it was just a reflection in the mirror. They could only look at the treasures without being able to take them away. They were waiting to watch Xia Ping make a fool of himself. Of course, they wouldn't say these words out loud. They would only laugh secretly. Don't worry, I've already made preparations. Xia Ping patted his chest. Our married life will depend on these treasures. How can I not think of ways to transport these treasures back? He indicated that Yuchichi didn't need to worry. Who would marry you? Hearing this, Yuchichi couldn't help but spit at Xia Ping. She wanted to bite this shameless human to death. He actually dared to say such words in front of so many demons. What? The shark demons were all dumbfounded when they heard this. Previously, they thought that this brat only wanted to hold the mermaid princess hostage and ask for some benefits. But now, this bastard actually wanted to live a married life with the mermaid princess. This was the ambition of a wolf. He wanted to defile the beautiful and noble mermaid princess. This was like a toad lusting after a swan's flesh. No matter how rich their imagination was, they would never have thought that this shameless human had such ambitions. It's fine. Once the rice is cooked, your father will have no choice but to agree. If it still doesn't work out, we'll bring a few grandsons back. I think his heart will soften. Xia Ping had already thought of a series of plans. Beast! Yuchichi really wanted to bite him to death. She could not even imagine that her father would probably have a heart attack if she were to really bring back a grandson. The whole mermaid kingdom was shocked. Many descendants of the sea tribe would want to commit suicide. Humans were too evil. This was the first time many of the shark demon grandmasters felt the evil of humans. They were capable of anything, and they even wanted to kidnap the mermaid princess. What was done was done. How could he even think of something like that? Was he not afraid of the mermaid king's wrath and sending troops to kill him? Even shark demon monarch wouldn't dare do such a thing. It would be a calamity if he had such thoughts. If I become the son-in-law of the mermaid kingdom, won't I have a chance to become the next mermaid king and control billions of soldiers? Xia Ping thought happily. Moreover, I have an invincible king as my backer. Later on, I can walk sideways in the endless sea. Whoever I don't like, I can just slap them to death. If I can't slap them to death, I'll just complain to father-in-law and have him slap them to death. In the future, I'll be a crab, a tyrant, and no one will dare to provoke me. Shameless commoner. Yuchichi was on the verge of going crazy from anger. This scoundrel human was already fantasizing about becoming the son-in-law of the Mermaid King, and was trying to use the Mermaid King's name to act like a tyrant. He was even planning to bully the demons. If this human really succeeded, the entire mermaid race would become the enemy of the entire world. Who knew how many enemies he would provoke? What spoiled brat! None of them could compare to him. Many of the shark demon grandmasters grimaced. Damn it, they thought that they would never see this god of plague again after sending him off this time. But it turned out that this brat had such a plan. He wanted to use the Mermaid King's name to wreak havoc on his neighbors. They couldn't imagine that if this brat really married the Mermaid Princess, the entire endless sea would be ruined by this human. Countless sea demons would have to submit to his power. Even the shark monster clan would likely tremble beneath his authority. I won't let you get away with this. Yuchichi clenched her fists, anger burning in her beautiful eyes. She had decided that if this shameless human dared to touch her, she would fight him to the death. Xia Ping ignored Yuchichi, whose eyes were spewing flames. He turned to the shark demon grandmasters and instructed, "Move my treasures out immediately. Remember to be careful. If you damage any of the treasures, I'll take your lives. Don't try to play any tricks. In the future, I'll be the son-in-law of the Mermaid King, and I have an invincible king as my backer. If you provoke me now, you know the consequences. I'll make things difficult for you until you die." He threatened viciously. Many of the shark demon grandmasters gritted their teeth. He hadn't even become the son-in-law of the Mermaid King, but he was already acting like the son-in-law of the Mermaid King. This was simply a vile character intoxicated by success. Besides, these are the treasures of the Shark Demon King, not yours. The treasures belong to the Shark Demon King, but your lives belong to you. Think about it yourself, understand? Xia Ping held a big stick in one hand and candy in the other, using both carrot and stick to make them submit. Very soon, they no longer had any resistance. They immediately mobilized the shark demon army and moved the treasures out of the royal palace, all the way to the entrance of the city. We've already moved the treasures to the city gate. What should we do next? The shark demon grandmasters looked at Xia Ping, wanting to know what this human had in mind. Xia Ping waved his hand, and with a loud boom, the water in front of him churned. Instantly, a super battleship appearing in front of the shark demons like a huge beast. This was the moon god ship. It was a tripartite flying ship that could fly in the sky, travel in the sea, and even jump through space. It had many functions. Since when was there a human flying ship in this place? Many of the shark demon grandmasters jumped in fright. Moreover, they hadn't even sensed anything. This was simply too frightening. Then how do you think I came down from the surface of the sea? I relied on this super battleship to dive thousands of meters into the sea without a scratch, and it even has the ability to turn invisible. No matter how crafty you shark demons are, you still can't find the whereabouts of my battleship, Xia Ping said carelessly. Enough nonsense. Immediately put all these treasures on the flying ship. I'll pack them up and leave later. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.